All right, so I think the screen thinking about thing is ready to go though. So hello everybody, Mega ZardX here, back at it again to give y'all another very exciting podcast episode. That being my ZardCast episode 78. And you know what? Holy shoot. If y'all are looking at this right now, for my viewers that happen to be watching this live here on my YouTube or watching this podcast episode some point later in the distant future, the layout has completely changed. It is completely different. Me and Steven, we've been running this podcast in outer space, and they'll say, you know what, we need to bring this sucker back and bring it down a little bit more grounded though. So yes, you can see right here, you got my mascot over here on the left hand side of the screen, and I got my co-host over here sitting on the couch. So Steven, how's it going, man?
Good. We snapped back to reality.
Yeah, man. It took a while to kind of build and set up this thing, like get them roof rafters. I got three lovely games sitting there on the wall. It's hard to choose just three games I really like. I could even put some PlayStation ones. Like I wanted to see if I could fit Spider-Man up in here though, but I was like, it just took a little bit of time though. But I picked three, so I don't know. Maybe that would change over time. That's what I'm thinking though. That couch where you're sitting at on there, man, you better not mess that couch up, man. That cost me a pretty penny, man. I'm saying.
I can tell.
All right. And then and it's not even just this though, but we can swing it over here to the lounge though too, like right above my head. I got the whole entire Smash Brothers mural. I need one in real life, Steven. Like I really need one of these in real life, and I still have not yet did that. I need to, but I was like, man, I love that poster though. So I need to make that a thing though. But you have any plans or aspirations to get that mural from the Smash Brothers Ultimate thing?
Like as an actual physical mural,
Yeah,
like
like you
it
probably have to
it'd be
get with
cool.
somebody. Shoot.
It
I
would
need to
it would
make that a thing.
absolutely be really nice. I'm trying to look. Is like the one with the I can't even see. Is this the one with the updated one with the DLC? Oh no, it's not.
No, yeah,
No,
at least the
the one with the
yeah,
DLC looks beautiful.
I got well, hold on, do I have the one with all of it? You know, I don't even know, but, when you're looking at that many characters, it's like, whatever at this point, though. But no, man, even the one that doesn't even have all the DLC characters up in it, it's a beautiful thing, though, it really is, though.
Yeah, they drew it in a beautiful art style. Not even to mention.
Yeah. So that does it. That's the room tour where we're shooting these podcasts, and I figure we got to get ourselves out of that cold abyss known as space, though. But yeah, I love the new Snatchy layout and stuff. It took a while to kind of figure out how to get these images to light up when you're talking, though. And once I figured it out, it's actually pretty cool, though. So I really like that. So this is the way how we're gonna be rolling. We got the topics over there on my big old well, I'll say it's a 70-inch TV over there above Steven's head, though. But yeah, that's gonna basically do it for the little bit of room tour and stuff. Steven, how's your week, man?
It's been good. I picked up a, sixth day of work because I trying to make back a bit of money that I lost in a car accident. So I've just kind of
Oh,
been,
okay.
yeah, I've kind of been working a lot, but
I
like
gotcha.
it's been good. I've
Mm.
mostly just been going home, eating and eating a nice snack and chillaxing. It hasn't necessarily been an interesting week, but it's gone by fast. I'm really just holding out until Thousand Year Door comes out. I need it.
I've been kind of doing the same thing too. Well, with as many topics as we got for tonight, we probably won't get too deep into like what we've been playing though. But I think lately, whoops, felt like I finished something here recently, and I'm trying to remember what the heck was that game. Um, Doggone it, it just slipped my mind
Oh,
though.
Zard,
It.
you there?
Oh wait, can you hear me?
Zard,
Oh shoot, I guess I must have lost them on the Discord side. Wait, can you hear me now?
Zard, you there?
Wait, can you hear me? No? Yeah, no?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, it was cutting out a bit. What were you
Oh,
saying?
okay.
Sorry.
That was just Discord. No, I was saying that I felt like I know I played something and just finished it. And then I'm like, well, what the heck was it? Like I was trying to remember, was it Switch or was it a PlayStation game? Doggone it. It's probably gonna hit me a little bit later on in the show.
Didn't you
And then I'm
play the
oh,
crab game?
there we go. Oh shoot. Thanks for
Wait,
reminding me. Yes, it was.
Zard, you there?
Wait, hold
Hello,
up. Wait, okay, can you hear me now?
hello.
this. Okay, can you hear me now? Wait, can you hear me now,
Uh,
Steven?
yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
All right. I don't know. Discord is wanting to act a little funky tonight, I guess.
Yeah,
But
I don't
no,
know, but I was saying it
it
was the
was the
crab
crab
game,
game.
no?
It was the
Yeah.
crab game. Another crab's treasure. Honestly, I never thought that that game will probably be my a game of the year contender though, but that game is freaking phenomenal if I do say so myself.
Yeah, that game I guess yeah, that game I've heard a decent amount about, and I bought it immediately because I heard it was good. And
No, man,
it's
I was
it's
talking
it's
that game
it's
up.
Devolver, right? I think it's Devolver, and usually Devolver delivers.
What? No,
It's
is it? No,
what?
it's made by Aggro Crab. I remember seeing
Oh,
that
okay,
on the
no.
credits, and they made
I'm
one other
thinking
game
of a
before
different
this, and
game.
I don't know what the name of that game is.
Oh yeah, okay. No, I was thinking of something else, but Aggro Crab, I swear whatever they else they released, it was good.
Hmm.
Uh I'm okay. So it was a game called Going Under that released in 2020.
Yeah.
And I heard like good things about it. It seems interesting. The crab game though, just the idea I was gonna say a kid friendly Souls like, but I've heard it's got like darker stuff in it. Just
Oh no. Ooh,
a goofy art style Souls like is definitely a nice different. It's nice and different, and I've
yeah.
heard like it's probably like a good beginner Souls like, similar to like Elden Ring, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely allowed me to get up in it a little easier because I had played with the Soul series, like Dark Souls and stuff. And after struggling for I'll say it was somewhere between like an hour or 2 hours, I really couldn't make any kind of progress up in that game whatsoever. So I was like, nah, this
Yeah,
series ain't for me. And then when I
yeah, those
saw the crab game, because that was shown in the last Nintendo Direct, the one that was the partner showcase, I was like, you know
yeah,
what? I saw some platforming stuff. It's not all just Souls. It's a fusion of 3D platforming and Souls lights, but it's pretty lighthearted until you get to 60% of the way through in terms of the story progression, and then it just flips the switch and gets real dark. And I'm like, oh shoot. But it was cool.
yeah,
It kind of pulled like one of them Kirby moments in those kind of games. But yeah.
yeah. But Kirby doesn't necessarily get dark like story wise. It just has like an Eldritch Abomination as the boss, but it's still like nice and he still defeats him with the power of friendship and all.
Yeah. But yeah,
No, but
that was the main one I've been playing the
it
past
looked
couple of
cool.
weeks. Yeah.
I I I don't think I played anything this week besides Fortnite. Okay,
Hmm.
I literally didn't. Okay.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well dang.
Because
All right.
I got back from my trip, and on my trip I played Ocarina of Time 3D for a little bit. Did like the first dungeon, and Ocarina of Time 3D is still a really good way to play that game. Just having so many more buttons, the map stuff too is nice.
Yeah. I still need to get around to playing that game and actually from start to finish. Like I played it, but I never played the game from start to finish. And I was always torn, like, because I have a version on my 3DS I could play, or I can hop on NSO and play the original N64 one. And I know they made some quality of life stuff in the 3D one though, but some people still prefer to play the 64. So I'm always torn between that
Yeah.
and then trying to keep up with my modern day stuff with releases and stuff. So I was like, I just never got around to doing it, but I got to at
I
some point though.
I know you're not gonna do it, but there's a really, really nice PC port that someone did of Ocarina of Time.
Oh, like
That's
a
like
widescreen version, kinda like Mario
widescreen
64?
widescreen 60 FPS, tons of quality of life. There's a randomizer option built into it because Ocarina of Time is a very popular randomizer game where they shuffle all the items.
Okay, okay.
It's just like the game Ocarina of Time is built in that like perfect way to where you can get items out of order and still mostly do everything.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, it's called, if you ever look it up, it's you probably will just find it by searching Ocarina of Time PC port. But that's probably the only way I can play that game now, besides
This
3D. Like that and 3D are I don't know,
this
so
league's
much
better.
better. Yeah, like I don't know. The N64 version, I can't even go back to it. Like I know people bitch and moan about 30 FPS, but that game, I swear, it's like 20 FPS, and that's jarring to me.
No, yeah. All right.
Like when
Well, that.
you like how oh, last thing I was gonna say is
Oh,
like
okay.
when you play a game for the first time at 20 FPS, like there's nothing wrong with it. Like if Ocarina of Time, if I'm playing it when I'm a kid, like the 20 FPS I don't really notice that much because as a kid you can't really perceive what the difference is. But then when I play a version that's 60, because I'm pretty sure 3D is 60 FPS. When you play a version that's 60, it's really hard to go back to half the frame rate. Well, no, a third of the frame rate, really, in
Oh,
some
a third,
parts.
a half is almost doable. A third is like, what the heck?
Yeah, it is 20 FPS, apparently. I looked it up.
Mm, dang. Okay.
It's it's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, that kind of, I guess that was a miniature size version of like what we've been playing though, because we knew we probably were going to have time with it in terms of all the topics we have for tonight though, because a lot of stuff has happened at least within the past couple of weeks. We got to talk about some TV shows and stuff like the Knuckles series, the Fallout stuff. We got an update on the Nintendo World theme park and stuff that's over there in Universal Florida though. But then also in terms of the gaming news stuff, hey, it's about high time, Stephen. We're about to get into the deep neck of the woods in terms of like all the gaming announcement stuff since we're kind of getting
Alright.
in these early, what would be the E3-ish time, May rolling into June. So Xbox came out announcing their showcase and stuff. Got to talk about Square Enix. They canceled a whole bunch of games. I'm kind of a little salty about that though. Apparently there's a rumor with the Switch 2 and magnetic Joycons. So I gotta get my little 2 cents on that one though. And then apparently a Nintendo, what likely would be a Nintendo Switch game, has apparently leaked. So we gotta give our little details on that one though. So that's basically the major topics for tonight. So we might as well get this show on the road though. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into that pop culture segment. All right, Steven. So I know you had not seen a couple of shows we're about to talk about here a little bit later, though. But at least tell me this: you actually sat down and watched that trailer that we got for Deadpool and Wolverine, right?
Yes, and I'm excited for this movie.
I looked at that trailer and I was like, because for us Marvel fans, it's the only thing movie wise we're getting for the whole year, unless we get some random pop up shows here and there though on Disney Plus. But I was like, I was looking at this thing, I'm like, okay. It's weird seeing Ryan Reynolds come out with some of these quotes and stuff saying, "Hey, this is going to be the most Deadpool movie, Deadpool something something something, something along the lines of that, most Deadpool movie ever, or something like that."
Yeah.
And I was like, can you really say that though? But I don't know. I digress. It's the only thing. See, I don't know. At least when I'm watching this movie, I know a lot of people gonna be watching it for Deadpool and stuff. But me personally, between the two, I'm more of a Wolverine fan. Like he's like one of the few X-Men I really like to gravitate towards. At least everything I saw up in that trailer, it looked really cool. It looked promising. It just looked like one of those movies you're just gonna be able to sit back and have a good ride. Was that what it kind of
Yeah.
gave you the same kind of feel, Steven?
It just looks like it's gonna be a fun movie more than anything, and it's not gonna make me think too much about the MCU because the MCU's done a good job at making me think about it, and then the more I think about it, the less I like it.
Yeah,
Everything after Endgame is just served to complicate.
even what was it? Even the Spider-Man movie that came after it,
Yes.
that
Like
it
how the hell does his wish at the end of No Way Home even make sense?
mm,
Like, is all documented, like, written evidence of Peter Parker existing just erased? Obviously, like, not. He still has that, like, necklace from MJ at the end of No Way Home. Like, he
I mean, you
did
gotta leave
stuff.
a little bit of
It just,
tease because I feel
it
like
just,
Zendaya's gonna
no,
show back up in
it.
the next
I know that
Spider-Man.
it's just a wish that means to complicate things. There's also plot holes, like I'm pretty sure. What was it? It was Electro who didn't even know who Spider-Man was. And the whole point of the villains coming to the universe was that Doctor Strange was like it was all people that knew Spider-Man was Peter Parker, which was not true.
Mm.
It was
Y
it's just stupid plot holes in that movie. I
You know
like the
what?
movie.
I like the movie too, but I had never thought about it seriously to the point of those little details that you
That's how they
managed
get
to
you.
point out. I was like, "Wait a minute now," because there was a lot of stuff going on, and I was trying to get the bigger stuff,
Yeah,
outside of those minor details that you mentioned. But if I were to go back and rewatch it, which I hadn't seen that movie or like rewatched it again, but if I were, then yeah, that probably would stand out like a sore thumb. I'm like, wait a minute now.
it's like yeah, like multiple of the characters that either didn't know that Peter Parker was Spider-Man or like this and that. It's just I don't know.
Mm.
It was just complicated. Was it WandaVision is stupid, Multiverse of Madness is stupid, Eternals is awful.
Oh, man,
But
don't
yeah,
even get me started on Eternals, man.
but yeah,
We can't go down that road.
as Deadpool said, he is Marvel Jesus. He will save the MCU. But I don't know. What have you watched the Deadpool 1 and 2? Cuz those movies are like the definition of fun superhero movie to me.
Oh man, like Deadpool. When I first saw those trailers for the first two movies, I looked at that or I saw the trailers and stuff. See how many times he dropped them f bombs. Oh wait,
It's
what the
awesome,
heck?
isn't it?
And I was like, okay, this is a bit too much for me though. No, for some oddball reason, my phone just randomly cut on. I don't what the heck?
Yeah.
Threw me off for a loop. No, man, but no, as many times as they were like swearing up and down up in that thing, I was like, I saw some of the bits. I was like, I don't know, this is for me though. But now that they got this mess coming to the MCU, I was like, I guess I have to. But more so, I still want to see Wolverine because Wolverine's still cool in my books.
Yeah.
I'll sit down and watch some of those X Men movies because of him.
I think you'd enjoy. Well, I don't know. Don't watch X-Men Origins or whatever it's called. Don't watch that one.
Wait, why not
Um
that one?
I just heard I heard bad things about that one. They've got like a really shitty version of Deadpool in it.
Hmm.
It's weird. Like Ryan Reynolds, I think it was him that was Deadpool like a while back, and then finally in 2016 they made like an actual good Deadpool in a movie.
I got you.
Um, I like all of the suits. Like Wolverine's suit looks really nice. Same for Deadpool's, who's I think his suit is the exact same as the last two movies, but still.
Mm. Okay, okay.
I'm if this is anything like Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2, which it looks like it's going to be just like those movies, I can't see how they could fuck it up. I can't. It's gonna be
Let's they can't they Disney can't afford to at this point because it's like, hey, this is how much I don't know how much money this thing is going to make. It's probably going to make a still a decent amount by the time you
oh,
consider
probably it's
box
got
office and then the post with the DVD releases and stuff though.
do you
But
know how good Deadpool did? It's literally I think the highest or the best selling R-rated movie of all time or like highest grossing.
I don't think I ever heard of that, but it makes sense.
I'm looking it up. Highest grossing R-rated movies. Okay, no, it's Joker and then Oppenheimer. I forgot
Uh
Oppenheimer was R-rated.
Oppenheimer,
Joke
the stupid
yeah.
Oppenheimer show. What the frick?
It's literally one of the biggest movies of 2023, and more people are available to watch it nowadays. But no, right under that is Deadpool 2 and Deadpool. So it's in the top. Both movies are in the top five highest grossing R-rated movies.
No
That's
wonder
a
nobody
lot.
watches R-rated movies, man. You got them up in the top, not the
Oh
Deadpool
yeah,
ones, but the other ones,
like,
bro.
like you can. Yeah, I was gonna say you could think of like any of your favorite horror movies, and none of them have even gotten close to what Deadpool's done.
I see why
Crazy.
most movies try to avoid rated R. Huh. All right. Well,
Yeah,
I think that might be just about it for the Deadpool Wolverine stuff. That movie comes out. Is it May or June? I always keep forgetting. Well, if it's May, it'll be this month, or is it
I think
June?
it's June. I swear it's June.
Oh, I gotta make sure because I'm like, what the heck? Actually, what the heck? You know what? What?
July.
Oh,
Okay, it's July
July. Okay.
26th. July 26th.
Okay.
Nice
So we
summer
still got a
movie.
little bit of time. A little bit of time before that one comes out. You know what? Actually, now that this is one last thing I want to say about this movie. I think this movie, when it comes out in theaters, will be the first ever movie I think I will went to the theater to watch a rated R. If I watch anything that's usually rated R, it's usually on a streaming service or on like DVD, Blu-ray at home. I don't think I ever went to the theaters to go watch a rated R movie. So I was like, what the heck? Because I know, like, with movie theaters and stuff, they usually have to check your IDs and stuff like that, though. I'm like, "Dawg, I don't think I ever rolled up in the theater trying to watch a rated R show," so that will technically be a first, so see how that goes, but alright, but
Yeah.
outside of that, that's pretty much it for the Marvel segment
Oh,
of the
wait,
show, though.
can I
Oh,
can
yeah,
I
one
say
more
one
thing?
thing about it? I seen this. They released like a little clip the other day, and I thought you'd find this joke funny. You know that one scene in the trailer where there's like a giant Ant-Man head that opens up and they're like
Oh,
living.
yeah, I don't know,
We
there's,
we
like,
got
apparently from
we
a different universe or whatever, but yeah,
Yeah. So we got a clip where it opens up and you could see like the skull and everything. Like you could see the Ant-Man helmet open up and you could see the skull inside of it in this clip. And then and then Deadpool says, "Oh, look, Paul Rudd finally aged." Because the whole joke is that he like looks like he's looked young for like 20 years.
Oh, okay. I see what it is. It didn't necessarily get me to laugh. I get the point, but I don't know.
I think it's I'm looking at it like this man, he's 55 and he doesn't look a day over 30.
30. That's why I looked at that actor and I was like, I was always thinking he was in his 30s. How the heck is he 50?
Yeah.
What the heck? Okay.
I don't get it necessarily. He's doing something. People have been joking that he's a vampire.
Oh goodness.
No, but that line got me and it cemented me my seat in this movie.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for our Marvel segment, though. But we're both looking forward to this movie, though. So we got to take our Marvel news whenever we get it, though. All right. So keeping the thing moving in terms of movies, I did not know that this was a thing until I saw this one tweet update, Stephen. Though, but apparently Kingdom Hearts is actually getting a movie, and I was like, wait, how the heck is that gonna work? And
Oh no.
I don't know if that's gonna be, like, CGI or live action, but so help me, if they try to make this thing live action or actually the news was like, it's gonna be half live action and half CGI. So I guess you're
So
gonna
it's
have,
gonna
like,
be
a
mostly live action. That's
yes,
what you're
I
telling
guess
me.
they're trying to pull like a, like a Space Jam thing. So I guess you had Mickey, Donald, and Goofy and stuff running around as like actual CGI, but your whoever acts as Sora and stuff is going to be apparently real. And I'm like, still can't picture this mess. Like, what the heck?
Like I don't even get the point because the Kingdom Hearts 3, like Kingdom Hearts 3, the graphics got so good to the point where you don't even need live action. Like like Sora, Donald, and Goofy in live action is just going to be stupid. I think Sora he meshes a lot better with the Disney characters in his cartoony art style with his big ass shoes. I don't see any way that adapting Kingdom Hearts to live action is a good idea. And then there's the whole thing about like literally the only world that like would look good with live action is like Pirates of the Caribbean, I guess, because that's already like live action.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah,
Like
in terms of that world,
or
that would
there's
actually
a
make sense.
and there was like Tron or something in one of the games. Like
I think
for the
Tron was
human
Kingdom Hearts
characters,
2, I want
like
to say, but
like
yeah.
for Sora, Riku, and Kairi, like okay, fine. Like if you make them live action, you make them live action. But like it's just never a good idea. It's only for marketing purposes. That's the only reason they ever do live action with animated because it's somewhat cheaper and then you can get like these big actors to market your movie.
I think it's a
Yeah, like
combination of those 2, and then the fact that there are people, such as my mom, who literally will not watch something that's animated, like, like animated or cartoony-ish or whatever. There are, like, groups of people out there that will not watch a show or a movie because it's like that, but the second you have, like, real actors up in it, then they're interested or they're okay with it or be willing to sit down and watch it. I think that's another little aspect right there, and I'm like,
people are
"Bro."
pathetic. People are
Yeah.
pathetic is the answer to that. I'd say
Yes.
literally the only one that kinda does it okay is the Sonic movies, because 1, they do really good with actually making them fit in the world, and 2, humans have always been a part of Sonic. Like, the Sonic movies are the only ones that actually do it really well so far.
Yeah.
Besides that, like, I can't be excited for this. Like, Kingdom Hearts 1 probably has a plot that is good enough for a movie. Like Kingdom Hearts 1 basically only has plot at the beginning, middle, and end of the game. So like I think you could dumb Kingdom Hearts 1 down to its own movie. But anything else, no, it's gonna be too fucking complicated.
And that's the thing though too, is like let's say this is a hit and they want to roll on and keep this thing as a series. Like what are you gonna do next? Chain of memories and then roll into Kingdom Hearts 2? Because you gotta do this stuff in order. And if you don't, you're
Yeah,
gonna really start throwing off some people though.
eh,
I know that Kingdom Hearts lore and that's can get
yeah.
stupidly
And
complicated
at
at
and at
sometimes.
and at that point, why even do constant adaptations and regurgitating content? You can just tell people to play Kingdom Hearts. Well,
Yeah.
because they like people are so fucking stupid. They need like a live action code on it to even make them realize it exists. Like you know how many people only found out about Fallout because of the show? Like getting a little ahead of myself.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
so many people got introduced to it because dude, oh this live act, people don't look at animation. And I'm pretty sure most companies also try to push it under the rug.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong talking point though. But
I
at
think
least for Kingdom Hearts, I know I probably will watch it whenever it does come out. I'm just gonna see how dumb it is in terms of, like them trying to hold up this plot or the way how it visually looks. I don't know. We'll have a good idea about it whenever we finally see a trailer for this thing. I don't
yeah,
even know how long this
um
thing has been in development for. That's another good question.
I don't
But
know. There is something really, really evil they could do, by the way.
what were you
Um,
thinking?
they could make it they could make it the Disney remake versions of all the Disney characters. Like the live action Little Mermaid when they go to Atlantica.
Oh heck! Oh heck no!
It,
Please don't do
I
that.
don't
No,
You think
heck
I want them
no,
to?
no,
No. You think but yes, I do
no.
think they
Because then when
will.
they go to the Lion King world, then you can have all of these CGI lions and stuff like that instead of actual Simba up in there. Like
But you
what the
see,
heck?
but you see what I mean, right? Disney would absolutely market the hell out of this, and this is how the movie would make money because they'd be like, "Oh, look, Simba's
Ah, and
here,
then they'll be
and
like,
look,
well, look at
Ariel's
this movie
here."
that got so many other worlds up in it. And it's going to try to
Yeah,
make you want to
that's
go back
all.
and watch the other movies.
That's all they've
Yeah.
done recently. Wreck-It Ralph 2, fucking their whole metaverse thing they've been going for. Like in Fortnite, they like funded a whole metaverse thing where you could like do watch Disney stuff in Fortnite. They just constantly want to regurgitate their old content, and like literally none of their movies have been good since 2016, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. That's a good point, though.
Uh, but yeah, I don't like the idea of a Kingdom Hearts film. I think it's dumb.
I don't think it's gonna do too hot anyway, though. But we'll see how this thing turns out, though. All right, so we'll switch it from movies. We're rolling it over here to the shows, though, because apparently you have not seen this one yet. Do you have access? Like, do you have Amazon Prime?
Yes, I have Amazon
Oh,
Prime.
okay. So you could watch this because originally I didn't have Amazon Prime, and I know I wanted to watch the show. I know the show came out about a month ago from this point, though, but I wanted to watch it at some point, but I couldn't justify myself getting Prime to watch the show until I needed to buy. Like I was over at my grandma's house, like cutting her lawn, and then I happened to lose like my earbud tip like, somehow I managed to bend over and my earbud fell out of my ear and hit the sidewalk or the grass. I picked up that, but I could not find the earbud tip, and I was like, "Doggone it, I'm gonna have to buy some more earbud tips to replace this thing now." I can only find it off of Amazon, and I was like, "Alright, it's gonna charge you $6 for shipping, even though you only need this thing that's like $8." I was like, "Well, now I
Yeah,
found my
that's how they
reason to
get
get
you.
Amazon Prime." So I got Amazon Prime, so that way I can get the earbud thing in like 2 days, and now I was able to watch the show. So I was like, "Okay, as long as I watch the show, within the span of a month, I'll cancel Prime after that, though." So I managed to watch about 3 episodes of the show thus far, and I can see why people really like this show. Like, I knew Fallout, it's not like the cleanest show out there. Like, there's death and stuff, and the way how they're fighting and stuff, and after a nuclear fallout and stuff, like, the show ain't gonna be like anything like Hurt or whatever though.
Yeah, it's
But even
supposed to
from
be
like
dark.
episode one, I was like, gosh dang, I didn't expect some of the deaths and stuff, like honestly, and some of these deaths, it kind of reminded me of Mortal Kombat a little bit. Not to that extreme, but had some similar kind of vibes. I'm just saying though. But I was like, man, I love the plot that's going on, at least with these first 3 episodes. And in terms of like, you know, in terms of like, I guess comparison to the source material, it's not necessarily fall like the basic premise, like the fallout. is obviously inspired from the games though, but the story itself is not from any of the previous Fallouts. It's telling its own unique story. So at least even if you're a lover of Fallout, you can almost think about this as like another story to what could have been a what if game. You don't know what the outcome is going to be though. So I don't know. I'm at the point where without spoiling anything, it's like, oh gosh, and this show is like stupidly funny too at sometimes though. But apparently the woman, I can't remember her name though, but the woman that's like in front of the TV right now, y'all can see on the show if you're watching this on YouTube though. He meets this one weird old, I would say grandma, even though she's probably not a grandma or whatever. He runs a shop or whatever though. And then the dude without the nose, whatever that dude's name is, he managed just to roll up into town and they have like this like brawl out fight. It kind of had a little bit of a western feel up in here too. I was like, what the heck? But I love it though. I love myself some westerns every now and then. No, I don't know, but that's roughly where I'm at. So if y'all watching the show, you know exactly where I'm at though. But I love a lot of stuff about this show though. It seems like every episode is about an hour ish. So there's a lot of screen time up in here. So I think that's like what 8-ish hours. I think because there's only like there's about 8-ish episodes. Some are a little higher than an hour. Some are a little bit lower than an hour though. But
That's what
I like the basic
Amazon
plot
does.
premise. Yeah.
Amazon like has like well, Disney kind of also does it where the length of episodes just changes because they're not good at pacing. At least that's why Disney does it. Disney's not that good at pacing, so they have to like artificially extend episodes to get to like a good ending point.
Yeah. At least with this one, they end like on the story beats of like where you know, I'm have like a transitional scene in a movie, like it blacks out and then it pops up a date or like a location, whatever. At that moment,
Yeah,
that's where the show would normally die off and say, all right, start up the next episode though. So I don't know. Maybe when I'm done with this podcast episode, I might watch another episode. Depends on what time we get done with the show though. But no, I'm really loving this though, and I highly recommend it, Steven. Whenever you get time, sit down and watch this one, man. It's been a pretty good blast. Pretty good blast. Oh, and then there were some numbers up on this show. I did want to report because that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to throw it up in here though. But apparently, doggone it, I just had the thing, and then it just dang it. Sometimes I hate
you
Twitter.
got it.
Okay, here we go. So, apparently Amazon says that the Fallout Prime show has been seen by 65 million viewers in just a few weeks, and 60% of the audience outside of the US. So, we had some numbers up there. So, you know what? That show's doing pretty good for them though. And I think even after, because they dropped all the episodes at one time, it's not like they're doing this like weekly or whatever though. They even already greenlit it a season 2 for this sucker though, so that's how apparently how good it was. So they say, "Yeah, we're
That's
gonna
how
keep running with
Prime.
this."
Yeah, Prime's been getting bangers recently. They had Invincible, which I don't know if you've watched, but Invincible, it's violent for sure, but like maybe you'd like it. Who knows? Invincible's good, like very good. They've been getting a lot of animation. They got Invincible, they got Hazbin Hotel, they got The Boys. They've been getting good shows. More than Netflix has been getting. Like Prime's been getting all the shows people are talking about.
I mean, yeah, 'cause, Netflix was there at the start. It was like the grandfather of all things, gave birth to all these other companies that say, "Hey, we can do what you're doing, but better and with our own
And
content, not have to pay
and,
you." But yeah,
and Netflix is just way too expensive now. Like
too
insane.
expensive. Yeah, but I think that's pretty much it in terms of the content that I wanted to recommend, at least with the Fallout show, though. So if you're looking for a good show, this one definitely checks off all of the boxes. Though at some point, Steven, I need to sit down and make a video and say, "Hey, here are all the video game adaptations, whether it be movies or shows, that we have gotten since the Detective Pikachu movie." Because I feel like ever since that movie, everything got greenlit and we just seen a whole bunch of stuff from
The downward
Nintendo. Now
spiral.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, the PlayStation. Now you got Xbox and stuff rolling over here though too. So yeah, so honestly, some really good stuff. All right, the next show we're gonna talk about is the Knuckles series. How the heck you hadn't watched this yet? I'm still kind of shocked and surprised about that, Steven. No,
Because I don't have Paramount Plus.
I Paramount Plus is one of those ones where I wouldn't be paying for it, but luckily when you have Walmart Plus and like the delivery service Walmart offers, so they deliver groceries and stuff from the store to your house. They give you they give you Paramount Plus, the ad version, so you got ads
Yeah,
up in it though for free though. So my mom gets that, and she was like, "All right, here's the password and stuff for it." I was like, "Oh, thank goodness!" So I was able to watch this show though. As for
yeah.
this
This is
show, I think I'm at episode 3 or 4 at the moment. 3 or 4. There's 6 episodes in the series, but what were we about to say?
yeah. I was just gonna say, I just wish things premiered on cable now. I wish things premiered on cable and then were on streaming the next day or something. Because I'd watch the Knuckles show when it premiered on cable, if it premiered on cable. So many shows that come out nowadays, I'd watch them the moment they come out on cable. But companies just want to drop episodes now. They just want to drop episodes. I think it's so fun when like episodes are premiering live. Like it makes you want to watch it. But now it's like,
Oh, that
okay,
old
I
cable
gotta,
feel? Yeah.
yeah, I gotta pay a month worth of Paramount Plus to watch to watch even just one episode to see if it's good. Well, okay, no, that's a lie. For this show, at least, they released episode one on YouTube, and I might
Oh,
watch
they
it.
did?
Yeah,
I didn't even know about that.
like that was kind of interesting. But like from what I've heard, the show is completely different after the first episode. Anyways,
It really is, 'cause and we gotta talk about the little bit of discourse up in here, because apparently the hot word on the street is people love the first 2 episodes for the most part, and then episode 3 and onward, you have some crazy Sonic fans, and I ain't, ain't nothing new about the crazy Sonic fandom and stuff like that. These people gonna talk about stuff, man. And apparently they were acting like this is the worst adaptation for Knuckles in the whole series or something like that. And I'm like, bruh, if you've seen all of the different kind of shows and stuff that you will see from the Sonic and crew up in there, nah, this thing ain't nearly as bad as what y'all were saying it out to be though. Now, don't get me wrong, the show is cheesy as crap, Steven. Like literally, oh my gosh. I'm not gonna say all of it, but I'll give you enough a little bit of a premise on it, and then I'll leave it up there for the rest of y'all to kind of interpret though. The cop dude, I don't know why, but I'm not really vibing with this dude too much though. But apparently, there's one part in the movie where it's like, all right, we gotta lay low somewhere, and he's like, all right, let me go ahead and visit my mom. Like, ain't nobody's gonna try to find us over here at my mom's house, Y- a movie's a movie. People gonna find
yeah,
you no matter where you go though. But there was one thing because like whenever she was first, or not she, whenever he was introducing Knuckles to his mom and stuff, he was like, wait, is he Jewish? And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what are you talking about? And I was thinking, I was like, oh, she's actually Jewish. So you got you got some you got some representation up in this show. So I do like that aspect though. But
representation does not define quality.
no, I mean, not that it's saying it's really good in quality. I'm just saying the fact that they actually pointed that out. You don't see a lot of shows mentioning something like that. That's just all
Because
I
they don't
was
have
saying now.
to.
Yeah. But with that comes some jokes, and I'll leave it at that. I was gonna say what the joke was on the show, but I'll tell you after the show is done and we're done airing this mess though. But if y'all know and y'all watch the show, you probably know exactly what I'm thinking right now. It caught me completely off guard because they were referring to Knuckles and his kind and how he's the last of his kind. That's all I'm gonna say right there. So you put 2 and 2 together though. And I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, so sometimes the show can be a little bit funny, and then it's awfully cheesy and awfully corny. Like not really vibing at least with the main character dude that's doing like the buddy cop situation. Like we're doing the whole entire basic plot premise for the Sonic 1 movie, but in TV show, but I feel like the story's not told as good as that, but it's not nearly as bad as what all of the Sonic fandom and stuff is proclaiming right now. At least from my point perspective though. I think the show is doable. It's not the best thing ever, but it certainly ain't the worst thing ever. And I guess that's like my mini review because I think I saw about 3 episodes thus far, so that's about half of the series, though. But, what all have you been hearing about this mess?
I've heard Sonic fans say it's the spawn of Satan, and I've heard people that were just looking for a fun show say it's okay. I have not heard I've not heard a single person saying it's just like really good.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly where I kinda landed on it. personally, though. We did manage to get some numbers on this, kind of similar to the Fallout show, though. But they Paramount came out and said in the first 3 days, apparently Knuckles was streamed for more than 4 million hours, which is a record on Paramount Plus. So this is basically like their number one show, though. If you do the math, like let's say if out of all those hours, if you were to lump them together and say, all right, how many people have probably watched this from start to finish? That's roughly about 2/3 of a million, 666,666 is roughly like the math that I managed to get though. So that's not necessarily bad, especially if this one show is doing gangbusters and stuff like that though. I guess it just kind of goes to show how many people probably like the first two Sonic movies, especially that second movie. Man, that was a banger right there, man.
It
Yeah.
was,
Oh,
but I
yes.
feel like I don't know what else do people on Paramount Plus have to watch?
I honestly do not
SpongeBob.
know. SpongeBob, I think, is the main number one draw, and lately has been like the Avatar series. But wait, no, Avatar series. Oh, for some odd reason, you
On
can watch the
Netflix.
original show. No, you can watch the original show on Paramount, and apparently you can watch it on Netflix too. Because Netflix has the movie and stuff. I find that kind of weird how Netflix has the movie, but why the heck wasn't that on Paramount? I don't know. So things like
Because of
that is a little bit weird.
contracting.
Yeah,
Because
things like that is a little
because
weird.
they probably made an agreement way before Paramount Plus existed, and we're like, "Oh, we have to do it on Netflix now."
Yeah.
It's the same reason why I'm pretty sure the Mario Bros movie got shuffled between three different streaming services already.
Yeah, because I know that one's on Netflix, and apparently it's on I guess 2 other things, but I don't know what
Yeah,
those 2 other
that's
things are.
this is why I wish we just had fucking cable again.
I know it's
Because
weird. It's like, hey, you hate cable because of how much it costs, and then you hear
I
about the
don't.
streaming services, like, cool. I only just watch my stuff on this, and then lo and behold, we have like what Disney Plus, Paramount, Hulu, HBO Max, and stuff, ESPN, and then you have your anime stuff with like Crunchyroll. It used to be Crunchyroll and Funimation, but that fused up into one now. And then the list kind of goes on and on and on, and you'd be like, what the heck? And it's like, dang, we
Like,
might just need to go back to
yeah, all these shows are cool and all, but Prime Video, at least people usually people have Prime. If you shop on Amazon, you probably want Prime. It makes sense. And then Prime Video is just a little bonus you get with it. You can use it for more than just streaming.
Yeah, I give
So
him for
I'll give that
I give him
I'll give
credit
it a
for
break.
that. Yeah.
Like
I give him credit
I
on that.
I don't know if they increased the prices, but I pay 16 a month, and for Amazon Prime and the video thing,
See
it's
now,
okay.
Steven, you messed up. You messed up, Steven. What you
What?
should have did is whenever I was ordering those earbuds, like I mentioned earlier and stuff, I was trying to get Prime and I was like, it said, hey, you're gonna pay $15 a month. I was like, heck no, I ain't paying this kind of money though. I went and did some digging on the internet and found out, hey, there is Prime for students, like if you're going to be a college student, that's half the price at $7.50. I was like, sign
But
me up.
I'm
And then
assuming
it
you need ID.
no, you don't need ID. It just kind of does like some kind of check. I don't know how it does the check, but I think it does
Huh.
like a check based upon your age. Like if you're in your 20s when you could probably be in college, it green lights you. And that's what it did with mine. I was like, okay, cool. So
Huh.
I only got it for 750. You might want to look into that. I don't know. Cause I mean, $15 a month is a lot. And if you
Well,
could
for
get away with
videos,
paying for $7, hey.
I don't know.
mm,
Seems a little like cheating.
No, I ain't no cheating, man. You're still in your 20s. If you had been in your 30s, man, then I'll probably say, well, it is what it is. But hey,
That's
you gotta
fucked
save
up.
some money.
That's fucked up. That the older you get, the more they charge.
I mean, I guess it's either technically that or it's like, hey, the younger you are, we're just giving you a little bit of a discount. Think about, six in one hand, half a dozen in the other. But I think that's all I wanted to say, at least for the Knuckles show. So honestly, it's really solid. I think by the time I come back, in the next podcast episode, I should be done with that series, at least from that point, though. So if my thoughts change or if it got a lot better or something crazy happened in the final episode, I'll kind of give you an update on it then, though. But it's just good, stupid fun, and that's just all I can basically say. Don't expect nothing extremely crazy, but it's not like bottom of the barrel either, though. But that's about. Oh, it just hit me for some odd reason. I know the voice actor is not, the voice actor of Thor, but why the heck is Knuckles giving me a whole bunch of Thor vibes? It's just the way how he talks and carries himself, even more so in this show than versus, the Sonic 2 movie. He's like a miniature version of Thor from Marvel.
Uh,
I don't know
you gotta.
why, but I just got that feeling from him.
That's just you needing to watch more movies because it's a typical fish out of water plot.
No, no,
If
not the plot.
anything,
I'm saying his character, Knuckles.
yes,
No,
that's
the way
yeah.
how he
His
talks and stuff
yeah,
and
yeah,
carries
yes,
himself.
yes,
I've seen a lot of
yes.
movies in my day, but I don't know why his just spits out like Thor. I've seen a bunch of other movies and stuff, and I
Have
don't get
you
that feeling
have
though.
you
But I don't know.
have you ever watched like Starfire is a very similar way from Teen Titans. It's literally just like
Starbuck
anytime
kind of has her own kind of vibe though. I didn't get the
it's the
Thorish vibes.
it's like the same exact
It's the same thing,
type
but
of
maybe it's
thing.
because she's a girl and stuff. I just don't
That just no,
associate
I don't
that
know.
with Thor. I don't know. We
I'm
can go
sorry,
on.
I don't see it at all. I think that's literally just you not knowing enough about character archetypes.
Oh
Like,
no,
just yeah,
no.
he's the only the one thing I'll say that they did with him is that he's not like he's a brute, but he's not like dumb. He's not necessarily a stupid character
At least they
in
didn't
these
do
new
that
movies.
because in some
That's what I'm
adaptations,
saying.
I
Yeah,
feel like they actually did make him like that, but at least
like
he's not.
Sonic Boom.
K
Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
like
man.
yeah, yeah, there's a very clear difference between uh making a stupid character s- that's really strong and making a strong character that's oh, you don't want to make your strong character too smart. Like there's a reason why like you have like the brains, the brawn, this and that. Those are like common character archetypes. He's like
Yeah.
naive. He's like naive more than anything.
Alright. Well, I guess that's basically gonna do it for that one, though. So we'll go ahead and roll over to the last pop culture topic we have for y'all tonight. And that is, yes, we did manage to get some news on Super Nintendo World. And it's officially gonna open up for Universal Florida in 2025, though. So that's really cool because I think lately, even from the people in Japan, when they were adding the Donkey Kong section, that got delayed and pushed back to like I think fallish for Japan. So the fact that we're gonna get the DK land on day one, at least here in Universal in Florida, that's gonna be really cool. And I was almost torn. I was like, "Dang, am I gonna have to go to the California location first and then have to backtrack?" But no, 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 no. As soon as they open up this theme park over there in Florida, at some point I'll make my way over there because at least then I could experience the Mario side of things and that DK side. So you get a lot of bang for your buck though over here at this new theme park though. But no, I'm really excited for this, Steven. Are you making any plans, aspirations to try to go over here to this park?
Eventually. Not for a while. Like I already have a vacation I'm going on in
Yeah,
August.
I got you. Oh yeah, so I don't know. I'll probably plan it out some point in 2025, though. Actually, I might make that a goal. Make that a goal. Go ahead and swing by over there at that park in 2020, because that's why I like it better than going to the Universal one over there in Florida. Because at least then you got the other two Universal parks, and then you got Disney World. I have options if I go over there versus if I went over there to California. I'm like, man, the stuff is already stupidly expensive over there, and then you're a little bit more limited with what you can do. Like even if you want to go to like Disneyland, that's only one park. Disney World over here got four parks. That's all I don't know. But yeah, so that's what I'm really looking forward to. And I guess I got to set my reservation for that Toad Cafe because at least from what I heard in California, that line was out the house or whatever. Though I think you had to make reservations for that sucker. But anyway, though. That's just a little quick update right there, though. So it's nice to be able to see some of these plans actually start to accelerate back up, though. But anything else on that one, Steven?
It's cool, obviously, that it's gonna be closer to me.
Yeah, because I was doing the math too, and I was like, if I wanted to go drive my car. Like if I'm not gonna fly, if I want to drive all the way over to the California one, that's literally almost a 24-hour drive. Whereas if I wanted to drive to the Florida location, it's only 10. So if I wanted to, I can block it up, or I might just be able to do it all straight. Or if I have someone else in the car with me, we can rotate and easily do it in 10 hours. So I was like, you know what, that one I like a lot better just going to Florida versus going all the way to California, unless I was gonna hop on a
Uh,
plane. But yeah,
So
that's
I
cool.
looked it up. For me it would be an 18-hour drive.
Versus
Wait, versus what, to California?
Yeah. I'm curious because with
Ah,
you being in New York and all the way to that's like literally from one corner of the continental United States all the way to the other corner.
it is I'm looking it up. It's definitely like 3 or 4 days, but it's loading. Give it a moment.
Give it a moment. Google
Okay, okay. If you're nonstop fucking driving, it's a day and 20 hours.
8 and 20 hours. So you mean to
Yeah,
tell me that's like 44 hours, almost
yeah,
48.
yes.
Technically, it
Have
would be
one.
48 because you had to sleep.
That's not accounting for traffic. That's not accounting for stops. That's not accounting for sleep. They would definitely be at least 3 days.
Yeah, that's terrible right there. That's terrible. Oh shoot.
Like think about think about it like this. You drive for 12 hours straight, go to bed for like another 5 maybe at like an inn, then you drive for another 12 hours. You still have to go to another inn. Like you can't impossible.
Yeah, it'll be like 12-hour shifts. Like you almost going to work, but then putting in the extra 4 hours on the end of it, and then hitting the deck. Because literally, there was like, I went back up to New Jersey to help get some of my brother's stuff because he was up there at one point, and then he moved back closer to home now. And we had to actually take a trip to go all the way up to New Jersey to pick up his stuff and then come back down. And it's a 20-hour drive to get up there. I was basically almost in your neck of the woods up there, Stephen, though. But yeah, we literally took it straight. 20 hours between rotating between four of us in the car. But then on the way back, we had to chop it up and do 10 hours, fall asleep in the hotel, and then come back and do the last 10 hours though. And I was like, gosh dang. If that's 20 hours, I would hate to think about it for oh gosh, he said 44 hours. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's around 40 days if you walk. I don't know why Google Maps. I don't
Oh,
know why I
oh
don't know
my
why Google Maps has that option.
oh man, that's an unrealistic option. But
Anyone
back in
who
the day when we
anyone
used to not have cars.
Oh yeah, obviously. But nowadays, the costs the costs of flying are so much lower than the costs of how many days of inns and food and this and that.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, if you're going that distance, it's actually probably just worth flying. Even though you could save yourself a good amount of money driving, yeah, I wouldn't do it because then,
It's
yeah,
more
you would have to factor in the hotel stops and yeah,
like literally, I don't know, if you the only reason you drive across the country is if you needed to bring your car somewhere.
yeah, that's the main thing. But most of the time, people will fly and then rent a car wherever they're at, and then just
Yeah.
drive around like that.
At least for me, I did a 12-hour drive to North Carolina about like yeah, I did a 12-hour drive to North Carolina about like almost 2 weeks ago now. And like that was doable. Like that's not that like 12 straight hours of driving is just enough to where you get into the hotel and you're like, okay, I could lay down for a bit.
Yeah,
It's not that bad. And was it 18 hours I said for Florida? Like I would maybe do that. I'd be up to do that. But no, the one it was a California, right? You said the other one
yeah,
is
the
in?
California one's out of the
That
question.
that's too far. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
that's too
going to
far.
California.
No, it ain't worth it, man. Don't stay away from California. It ain't worth it, man. I'm just saying. All right. But yeah, that's going to basically do it in terms of all of our pop culture segment stuff. So now we'll go ahead and transition over to the next segment of the show, that being what's in the gaming news. All right, Steven. It's about that time of the year. I say it's about the best worst time of the year for a lot of reasons
Oh
though, but
no.
I'll keep it simplified like that though. But we got the reveal that Xbox is coming out with their showcase, and it's roughly in the same period of time that they normally would do their stuff in the month of June, though. So yeah, so we do know it's going to be coming out on June. Oh my gosh, this text is really small, at least from what I'm looking at right now, though. But it is June. I want to say June the 8th, if my eyes are not lying to me right now. But no, not 8th, the 9th. Sunday, June 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's when they're gonna have the Xbox Game Showcase. Now, notice if you look from the left and look towards the right, It literally says a redacted direct immediately following the Xbox game showcase. Apparently, there's been enough people that have been looking at that image and trying to, do some editing and stuff, and apparently figured out that that's basically a Call of Duty direct. That's
Yeah,
falling
that
after the Xbox game showcase, which honestly that makes a lot of sense. And I'll tune out at that point though. But anything you're looking forward to potentially being revealed at the Xbox Game Pass, I will say this. I do not expect no Hollow Knight Silk Song, man. I for some reason I feel like it still might miss this
no,
little
I think
thing.
it's no. I think it's gonna be there.
Oh, you think it's gonna be there? All right.
Well,
Hmm.
it got rated it got rated recently. It's mostly been like Xbox marketing it because what, it's gonna be a day one Game Pass game, they said.
Yeah.
It would definitely be the biggest platform to do it at. It's a very, very anticipated game. I think it's gonna show up. But yeah, who fucking cares about the next Call of Duty game is a better question.
I don't know.
Well,
I
dude,
mean, there's people
it's gonna
that
be
do.
Black Ops 5. Like,
Everybody
go
else
fuck
is just
yourself.
always gonna go back and play Black Ops. Well, shoot, I don't know what number it is though. But literally, is this the
3.
one with the yeah? Is this they're just gonna boot up the zombie mode and just go to town on that? Like that's probably the best thing you can kind of get out of these games nowadays, though. But
Well, yeah, and it's really only because the old ones have already shut down. Well, even
yeah,
yeah, the third one still looks decent to this day. If we're talking visually, like I don't get why they keep making these games.
yeah. At least for me, in terms of what I could look at, I ain't looking forward to the Call of Duty stuff. I think the only things I would be kind of remotely curious on seeing more info on would be the Indiana Jones game. I hate how that's in first person. If it was in third person, I would have been sold. I would have been getting it on my PC probably day one. I don't know. I still need to see a little bit more about that thing. I'm still kind of a little bit hopeful on it though.
First
And
person and third person isn't really that big of a difference.
it's not that big of a difference, but when I was thinking about him, I was thinking that was gonna be a third person thing. I don't know. And then the other one would have been is Fable. I kind of want to see a little bit more on that, but I don't know. They had to sell me on it. They had to sell me on it. See what that one's all about, though. I think there could be some promise on that, but I think outside of those two, that's about it. And then obviously, I we ain't gonna spend the time talking about third parties because third parties will be here all night though. But I think those are probably some of the biggest things I think Xbox is probably gonna talk about, at least within this one show. You know what? They might even talk about, I said we weren't gonna talk about third party stuff, but it just reminded me that they mentioned about this at the last Xbox Developer Direct. Visions of Mana from Square Enix. They showed that at an Xbox Developer Direct, kind of as like a little shadow drop, like reveal, not shadow drop game. So if they manage to do that at that last developer direct, they might do it for this one if the game's not out by now, or if it's coming out in the next 3 weeks or like a month and a half or something, because we know it's coming out in summertime though. I think that's honestly the only things I'm kind of anticipated, looking at, and anything else will be kind of a surprise. But was there
I
anything else you wanted to add to this?
No, I could not be less excited for the Xbox showcase. Like, I don't know, it's probably gonna have some good indie games, maybe some good follow-ups on games I care about, but like Xbox isn't gonna do anything actually that important. If anything, we're probably gonna see more games being ported over to like other systems, or like them announcing. Oh, I guess they could announce that next console, the like tube one we got
Oh,
leaked,
you know what?
the
Now that
all
you mentioned
digital
that,
Series
it's
X.
either that all digital Xbox Series X. I think they are going to announce that, and then announce that new controller like thing that we saw in that one leak.
Yeah,
I think those might be guaranteed announcements for this, and they might release within like a span of a couple or a few months because we know that maybe that PS5 Pro will be later in the holiday season. So I think Xbox is going to beat them out the door with that. They'll try to get their thing out before PlayStation does their own thing, though. But yeah,
yeah, it's nothing exciting, obviously. They just can't think of anything exciting to do anymore.
yeah. Well, shoot, man,
But
you steamrolled through that topic.
well, because I don't know, like we need to see more. Like, yeah, it's we'll talk about it when it happens, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. So at least what was it? I'm looking at the calendar now to see kind of what episode that would be on. Actually, shoot, that would be like 3 episodes from now because even 2 episodes from now, that'll put us on. June the 2nd, but this thing happens on June the 9th, though. So yeah, so about 3 episodes from now, we'll see what it is, and we'll give our thoughts on that, though. All right, let's keep this train rolling, though. You know, since I already talked about Xbox, I might as well go ahead and talk about PlayStation at least here for a little bit, though. But apparently, Horizon Zero Dawn, the game that's in PlayStation Plus, it's actually getting pulled down from that service here in I have to actually check the date and stuff up on though, but apparently it is going to get pulled down at some point though. The fact that PlayStation is actually pulling that game from their service though kind of gives a little bit more credit or credence to the fact that they might be remaking this game, kind of like how they did the same thing with The Last of Us Part 1.
That is
And
scummy. That I don't like that.
I don't like it either, man. Like we kind of expected that from Last of Us, given the fact how you can play The Last of Us, like the OG, the remaster, and the remake, the thing
Like
all of
the
those on the
remaster
PS5. But like, what the heck?
the remaster is at least, I don't know, like Last of Us Remastered, Last of Us 1 Remastered, I mean, obviously. That came out in like 2013. It came out at the launch of the PS4. So like theoretically I could see why they wanted to update it graphically. I don't think they should. I don't think it mattered, but like I could see why a Naughty Dog thought they had to do that. Horizon Zero Dawn came out in 2017 and it has a PS5 upgraded version. This is
That's
stupid.
that's the thing that gets me because I mean, I remember during the year of COVID, before I had the PS5, I created a PlayStation, network account, just hopping on the browser and stuff though. But I managed to redeem one of those games that were given away for free during COVID. That was Zero Dawn, the complete edition. So I have that sitting on my PS5 right now. And obviously you can get the PS5 patch to make it play better and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, I got that game luckily. So this them taking it down from PlayStation Plus doesn't really gonna bother me though. But I'm like, dog, if you have an actual update that allows people that had the PS4 version to basically play the best version of it on PS5, and I guess these companies are too afraid to take a lot of, big risk to the point where I guess they're gonna remake games that literally came out the previous generation console. Like that shoot, that would be like, oh goodness. I guess if you were thinking about like an equivalent for like Nintendo, if I'm trying to think of like one that I guess what was a Wii U game that was good? I'm like I guess it'd be
That's a
let's say
fucking loaded question.
like a Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. All right, we'll take that. Remember, they ported that. There's a difference between porting and remaking. They ported that to Switch. But let's say they didn't port that to Switch and say, you know what, we're gonna make a remake of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Like free, man. Did that game really need it? No. Are things gonna really change about it? No. Like, how the heck is Sony able to get away with this stuff? Like, I'm just saying, no. Like, it's one thing to port and like maybe remaster something to bring it up to another system so it allows people to still play it though. But where you're still able to play that same version from the previous console and you're actually just dubbing it as a remake and not necessarily just a straight port job. Like, oh man, it just kind of shows y'all really out there fishing.
This is money laundering at its finest.
I don't know. I just hate that
It's
kind of
a
mindset
scam.
though.
If they really out, first of all, like I got this game for free anyways. They gave this game out for free in 2020. So I just have it. Not even PS Plus. Like I just have the game for free.
Yeah, so you're in the same
So
camp
like
as
this
me.
doesn't yeah, this doesn't affect me. Like I'll keep this game even when it leaves or whatever. I just don't understand the but I don't understand why people immediately are pointing to a remake. It's like that's what I don't get about the gaming industry. Do they want a remake or do they just want to be right about them predicting one?
Think it's more so about those journalists. Like they want to get certain things right, so it brings more attention towards them. Not
So
necessarily that they
stupid.
want that to happen, but I don't know. When you start looking at some things, you start theorizing and stuff, and trying to start predict. I mean, that just kind of gets you going that direction.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I hope that it's not that. I hope it's not a remake because that's stupid. Like, yeah, technically 7 years is 7 years, but like, imagine if they did a remake of Marvel Spider-Man, you know what I mean?
Oh, like
Actually,
the
no, they
first
already did. Okay,
well,
never
no, I mean,
mind.
they
They already
technically did
fucking
the
did.
first one, they did a remaster, which I'm
See,
okay
that's
with a
why Sony
remaster.
sucks. No, that's what Last of Us 2 technically is a remaster. It's just a way to peddle money out of you. Because
Yeah.
they made it, if you ask me, they made it worse with the fucking Peter Parker facelift. But I don't know.
Mm.
No, but like Sony just has this obsession with modernizing their games. Even their single player games, they have to treat like live service and constantly change them.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm not a big fan of it either, and I was like, I don't know. So Sony needs to get something worked out. And you know what? I didn't even have this as a topic for tonight though, and I might as well just go ahead and get my 2 cents on it though while we're here though, since we're already talking about PlayStation though. But you know,
yeah,
you heard about the stuff about Steam and stuff with Helldivers 2 and
Helldivers.
stuff. Yeah, the fact that they're
Sony
now
is fucking stupid.
yeah, the fact that they're requiring people that were already playing this game to say, "Hey, now you gotta log into our PlayStation Network. So you gotta have a PlayStation Network account in order to play these games and stuff like that." At the end of the day, should it really be that much of a big deal? No, not necessarily. If executed right, like if they would have told you at the beginning of the game, say, "Hey, look, we might have some issues and stuff like that, but hey, at some point we're gonna have you required to have an account to play our games. Just for now, we're gonna give you a grace period." If they would have let people know about that up front, this news story wouldn't have really blown up like that. But the fact that they did it and now they're trying to circle back to it, I don't know. This leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. But at the end of the day, it should be a simple process, right? Log it in, getting an account, and keep playing. For the diehard fans that really love Helldivers too, they're gonna go out there and do it though. But for the people out there that don't have access to getting a PlayStation Network account because PlayStation Network isn't supported in the country where they're at, yikes. That's the part I think that's gonna
Oh,
rub a lot of people the wrong way though. And I was like, I guess that's part of the reason why Valve has to go through and start doing I heard about some people getting some refunds on this game, even though like what, 2 hours is what you normally can play on Steam, under 2 hours and get a refund though, but usually nothing more than that will allow you to get it.
hey Zard, take a wild guess at how many countries pulled the game.
Off of their I'd say about 100 and I'm just gonna throw out a guess, 150.
177.
That's close enough. Dog.
That's a lot. That is okay. Apparently, yeah, I don't know, there's 195 countries in the world, but like this list also includes territories.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, even in count, even like counting it, that's still more than half of the world that is just cut access to this game now. Like no matter which way you slice it, it's awful.
Yeah,
Like
I feel
literally
bad.
all of Asia, I think. Literally all of Asia except for India is now excluded. Like
Can't cut
all
India,
of
there's too many
all
people
of
there.
all of Africa and then certain parts of Canada. And like it's I don't get it.
Yeah, I feel like this could have definitely been executed better. Yes, I know Sony wasn't prepared for how big this game was when in terms of like its release. Like they didn't think it was gonna blow up like this. But I mean, at the same point, we know they're trying to make some initiatives in terms of moving and having like a lot of PlayStation related stuff, like in terms of like the games and stuff, they're moving over to PC and being able to actually like log into your PlayStation Network account, so that way it's tracking, it's tracking your trophies and stuff and achievements and everything else though, and then they can use that as like PlayStation Network numbers, like, hey, how many people are actually invested within our ecosystem and stuff, since they're making this huge push to PC. I understand all of that though,
Because they just
but
want their data. They want their
yeah,
pure data, which is
yeah.
s- dystopian.
I feel like I see why the business side of things. It makes perfect sense, but you just got to find a better way to execute this stuff better, to where you ain't gonna lose like a good chunk of your player base over this stuff. Obviously, the people that are playing this on PS5s and stuff like that, they're fine. They ain't going nowhere though. But I know you are gonna lose some people off of the PC. How many? We don't know. Obviously, this game has been review bombed quite extensively, like, gosh, like I saw like a comparison chart from like when the game was first dropped to like all the way right now, you just see all of that
Yeah,
red up on there. It's ridiculous.
it was one of the highest rated. I was gonna say it was one of the highest rated like games on Steam in a while, and all ruined because of this.
Yeah. So man, I don't know. I guess that's pretty much all we had on the PlayStation side of news though. But it is a little bit unfortunate for those that are affected by this that probably really love this game, but you know, I don't know. Sony just has to be a little stick in the mud though. Hate the developer side. 'Cause, like what they ain't got no say up on this thing. No, all they can say is, hey, we'll try to make the content still be just as good and just as fun though. But I don't know. It's all those the big heads up top making all these decisions and stuff like that though. So hopefully they can get better and learn from this though. That's just the moral of the story though. All right, so that was going to basically do it in terms of our PlayStation segment. Let's go ahead and swing things over to the third party stuff with Square Enix, though, because apparently there was a report that went out that yes, Square Enix has started to go through and reevaluate some things, like probably a lot of companies out there. We kind of alluded to this in some of our past episodes, though, but these stupid costs and stuff of these games and stuff. It ain't cheap to make games anymore. We're not in that PS2 GameCube era anymore though. So I'm like, well, Square Enix looked at all their games and said, you know what? We're going to take a loss. We're going to take what's equivalent of like $140+ million loss and say, hey, we're going to just cancel some of these games. A good chunk of games, and I think if you do the math, it could be about 5, 6, 7 games. Who's to say, really though? But these are games that basically were midway in development, and they say, you know what, we're just going to stop. And then now anything else that's going to get greenlit in the future, we're going to go through some heavy analysis on this and, you know, really start to think and ponder, hey, is this game going to give us a substantial amount of profit? If not, we're not even going to greenlit it. We're not even going to bother with it, though. And you know, it's just unfortunate because who knows how many of those games that could be canceled now could actually be really cool games, though. Now, obviously, Steven, you might be thinking, dang, does that affect Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or the remake series? Or does that affect Kingdom
No,
Hearts 4? Or does that affect the new Final Fantasy game? Or does that affect the new Dragon Quest 12? Absolutely not. I think all of those are safe. All of those are good. If anything, those are going to keep on rolling though. But it's anything else outside of that. That's what we have to worry about though. But how does this all make you feel, Steven?
I feel like it goes without saying this is an objectively bad thing for the industry. So many projects that could have been people's favorite games, could have been people's, inspirations for this and that, and all because the company wanted more money. Like canceling projects, like look what Warner Brothers did. They canceled so many things that people were looking forward to, just to recuperate on losses.
Oh, don't get me started on that Wile E. Coyote stuff, man.
Yeah,
Oh shoot.
we're not gonna get started on it, but basically, this is why indie games are the lifeblood of the gaming industry now. This is like indie games have really had their rise in the last couple years because all these big companies just keep making stupid decisions. At least that, I don't know, that's what I think. It's been so annoying.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about this whole entire story is the fact that if you go back and look, because you know Square Enix had to give them an update on this, because like this is before they actually report their fiscal reports and stuff like that. So they kind of prep the investors, saying, "Hey, we're just going to release a statement saying, hey, look, it's going to be a hard pill to swallow. So here you go. Here's a glass of water. This is a big one, so swallow up, buddy." So they literally gave us this report. So that way, when we're looking at the actual fiscal reports that should be coming out here fairly soon, at least they already kind of got people adjusted to this groundbreaking news of what their numbers are going to look like, though. And apparently, stock numbers went up after this after this report, though. So I guess you know to some investors are like, hey, you know what? If you want to make some smarter decisions and actually you know release games that actually are going to turn out a profit, like in comparison, like phone stars, like I don't know if that sucker was a success. I highly doubt it though.
Of
But
course, it wasn't.
you know, you got games out there that are like freaking incredible, like you know, Final Fantasy VII remake and stuff like that. Though you have games out there that will hit high numbers and stuff, though. But then you have weird games like a Forspoken or a Phone Stars or something that it's like completely takes. So it's like, I don't know. It's like you had some high highs and then you had some real low
Like,
lows. But
alright,
Square Enix keep that consistency straight. It's a
alright,
little bit of a challenge.
listen, Forspoken is stupid, but I'd rather have 10 Forspokens than one stupid live service game. Because live service games are built to die. At least Forspoken,
Hold on
at
here.
least
They spent too
Forspoken
much money on
can be.
Forspoken, man. I know they
No,
got
I'm not.
bank, but they ain't
No, I'm
got
not
that kind of
saying.
bank.
I'm just saying from like the single player standpoint. Like from the single player standpoint, Forspoken can be archived. It can be physical copies can be preserved. People can clown on that game forever. While games like Foam Stars, they will die and no one will be able to play them.
Oh yeah. At least when you bring it from that angle, then yes, that makes a lot of sense though.
It's a bad situation all around.
Yes.
And like we don't even know what games they canceled for the most part.
So help me if they cancel something like a Live Alive. I don't know how many copies Live Alive sold. Hopefully more than 1,000,000 though. But I can already tell that that was like a little bit more of a, I would say more niche-ish in a lot of ways. Because I know that's not going to sell gangbusters and stuff. Yes, it probably got you some kind of amount of a profit. How much of a profit? Who's to say though? But if they go through and say, hey, some of those games we're going to cancel, or some of those HD 2D games, like Live Alive and Triangle Strategies, those games were freaking incredible. I'm pretty sure Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D is fine, but anything beyond that, I'm kind
I
of
don't see any
afraid
more
of.
HD 2D games.
Yeah, I'm like, that's the thing I feel like that's gonna happen is that we might be done with that series after Dragon Quest 3, and that's gonna be sad because I really
Yeah,
love that because it brought back that glorious era of the 16-bit era and just brought it within modern day times and did some pretty stuff with some nice graphics and stuff. I love those games, and I was like, the fact that some of those games could be in jeopardy or probably potentially got axed, and we probably would never know unless there's another like Giga Leak from Square Enix or something like that, though. But I'm like, it's just sad.
yeah. Apparently, they want to focus more quality over quantity, which is obviously a good thing. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. For canceling the games, I don't think is the correct thing here, unless they were live service. Unless every single game that they canceled is live service, which is
I
not
have a
the
feeling
case.
some of them might have been, or
Of
if it
course they
were,
were.
there
No,
probably
they
was
were.
like maybe one, maybe two titles or something like that. But yeah,
Because
we
like
don't know.
from what I've heard, apparently like live service games are apparently super expensive to develop because people are, these companies just, they got to like host the servers, and that's why they always get shut down because it's so much money to keep them up, I guess.
Yeah, it's like,
It
hey, if you're
and
not gonna be like a Final Fantasy, 14 or something like that, and bring in bank or like a Fortnite and bring in that bank consistently, it's like it ain't worth it. A lot of these companies try to invest so much in live service because they're thinking, hey, it might be a golden goose and net you those kind of money that 14 makes or something like that. But when it doesn't, then they're quick to cancel it. And every company is just trying to get a piece of that pie, though. But it's biting them. And we saw from Square Enix, they might be like one of the first, and who knows how many more might have to go back through and go through their fiscal reports and start looking at their numbers and say, you know what, we're just going to make some hard costs. Will they be straightforward as like their announcement to the public like this and to their shareholders? That who's to say on that? But I don't know. I know all these companies are at least thinking about or having these talks, even while we're having this talk on this podcast. I know that's for sure.
yeah, the gaming industry is kind of in a bad spot right now. Let's talk about some good gaming industry topics finally.
Alrighty. Well, that's gonna do it for the Square Enix stuff. So we'll go ahead and say peace to y'all on that though. So last up we got some Nintendo news up in the thing. Don't say the best stuff for last though. However, I did say best stuff for last, and I'm like, well, we're looking at two games. I'm like, I don't know about these two titles though. But apparently we got two other games that were added to the NSO service for the expansion pack tier for some 64 games. That being Extreme G and Iggy's Wrecking Balls. And I was like, you know what? Extreme G looked like it was an okay game. I don't see there being a lot of problems with that game. But who the heck picked Iggy's Wrecking Balls? Like, have you heard of these games before, Steven?
No, but I'm glad they're doing some of the weirder stuff.
I like some weird stuff, but you got to put at least a solid game up with it, though. Like, come on now. I know
Well, yeah,
everybody and their
they
mom
could
is
do
still
like
thinking, "Where's Donkey Kong 64? Where's Smash Brothers? Where's Diddy Kong Racing?" I'm like, "Bruh."
well, yeah, I don't know necessarily know if anyone's gonna care about Smash, but like yeah, Diddy Kong Racing and Donkey Kong 64 should be there.
I
I
think
think they should
no,
always
you know,
prior.
people care
I
about
think the
Smash or a
single.
little more so than Iggy's Wrecking Balls. Like, let's keep it
Well,
real, Steven.
yeah, but like I'm glad they're I don't want them to only do the popular stuff and then abandon it. Like I'm assuming that Donkey Kong 64 will come because we did just get all that rare stuff.
Hopefully, hopefully. At least
Like
fingers crossed on that.
and probably like Banjo Tooie will eventually come, but who knows?
Yeah.
That the N64 version of that game was rough from what I heard.
I don't know. That's just one of my biggest pet peeves with this whole thing, which I made a whole entire video like on an update for NSO for 2024. So you can check that video out on the channel though. But like, well, we need to bring back a roadmap with this stuff, man. At least tell us when we're getting stuff. Or even if you ain't gonna tell us what games we're getting, like PlayStation, like we don't know what games we're getting until like a couple weeks or a few weeks out. At least have like regular scheduled days that we know we're gonna get some kind of content. Like even like Steven, oh shoot, have you even thought about this? Sega Genesis games that are a part of the expansion pack tier. It's been about 9 months since the last update for Sega Genesis games. We just went radio silent on that. Do
Well,
you
yes,
even
Sega just doesn't care. We still don't even have fucking Sonic 1.
we have Sonic 2 up on that service. And Sonic 1.
I'm not saying that I want Sonic 1, but how do you have a Sega Genesis collection without fucking Sonic 1?
You know, that's a good thing. And I feel like maybe they didn't do that because they put stuff like Sonic Origins and stuff. I feel like that's probably the main
But
reason
why
why we
even
hadn't
put
got it.
Sonic 2?
We had to put something Sonic up on here.
Yeah, but
Like
like,
if I
wouldn't it make more sense to put Sonic 1? Because more people are
no,
gonna wanna.
Steven, no.
No.
If I
Yeah,
was the
no.
CEO right now and they say, you know what, we gotta pick one of these games, Sonic 1, 2, and 3, because the rest of them are in the Origins game. Which one we gonna do? I feel like this dude was thinking like me, like, well, we could put Sonic 1, but that piss is literally hot garbage though. Like
Yeah, but
Sonic 2
people are
is
willing
better.
to.
Sonic 2
But
is better,
yeah,
so let's put the better
if
one
you
out
think
there and just
about
skip
it,
the first one.
I feel like people are more willing to buy Sonic 2. Most people won't buy Sonic 1.
That's why they put
That's
that
the
mess in
difference,
the bundle, and then they gave you 2 for free in the expansion pack
I
t well,
guess.
technically, you're
And then
paying
they
for
gave
it, but
you and then
yeah.
they gave you Sonic Spinball. Who fucking cares? You got some good ones in there. You do have like there are pretty good Sega Genesis games on there. Uh Heard good things about Rice Star. I never played it though. There's a decent amount of there's a beat 'em up in there somewhere. Shinobi is cool. But like, I think they just ran out of good Genesis games besides Sonic, I guess, or like they ran out of ones that they could get the rights to. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that might be I guess, the case scenario for that one. I know there's, like,
I think
still a
it's because
bajillion out there, but there's probably more of a licensing things.
well, no, it's also the issue of they kind of have to restrict it slightly because these are that's included like with the expansion pack. They don't want to make the rating go up too much by including a game with a high
Oh,
rating.
yeah,
Like
that
I'm assuming that's why games like Mortal Kombat, which were staples on the Genesis, aren't getting ported over.
oh, yeah, that's a good point, that's a good point. No,
Like
yeah.
Mortal Kombat on the Genesis was like the definitive way to play that. I'm pretty sure because it had the blood, or like the only
Oh, yeah,
besides the
because the Super
arcade one.
Nintendo one didn't have that, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm, mm.
I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah.
It's a decent update. I just hope they. I am just mad that they didn't keep to their promise about the games, at least a couple games per month or one game per month, and now it's just whenever they feel like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I want them to go back to the rigid structure because I know there's a lot of games they could do this mess for though. So I don't know. I just feel like they're kind of slipping though. Like I don't know
Yeah,
what was the last update we had for the GBA? Like what the freak? I don't even know
I
what
think
that
it's
one
mostly
was.
because I'm pretty well F-Zero, and that was somewhat recent, but
Oh,
still.
okay, yeah, yeah, but that was only one game. Like you think we'll at least get two at a minimum.
I think all of the games that they promised we now have gotten.
Oh,
We
no,
did
yeah,
get
for
both.
sure. Yeah, we did get
We
everything GBA.
yeah, we got those 2 Golden Sun games instead of just 1, so that was a nice surprise, but yeah, still.
I think that might have been the best thing that dropped up in that service, to be honest, though. I need to go back and finish that first one I started, though, but I got a good ways through that game. But,
But
yeah.
yeah, it's, they hope they, give it more value, but, like, hey, it they at least are going for some of the weirder ones and not just all of the popular ones.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much it in terms of the expansion pack games, though. So hopefully next time we have an episode, they drop some good games up on here, though. Come on now, I want to see something I'm familiar with, or at least heard of. I'm just saying, Nintendo. Like, come on, we can do better. But now let's go ahead and flip it on the rumor side of mill kind of things, though, because apparently, Switch 2 is always hot rave right now, though. People still kind of wondering when is this thing when's this thing's basically going to get announced? Like we know it's going to be probably announced this year, but it probably won't be released this year. So that's what basically everybody's waiting on, though. But apparently, there's been a report going around saying, "Hey, you know what? There's a good chance that what would be the Joy Cons that normally attach to the current Switch right now, for whatever the next successor happens to be, they would be magnetic." And at least whenever I first heard of this report, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, magnetic. Like, if you think about some magnets and stuff, I can't tell you how many times you mess with a magnet on a fridge and stuff. And I know, like, stuff will slip and slide or stuff will fall off and then break and stuff. And I'm just thinking about that with like
Well
a 300 something dollar system. Yes, I know there's things like super magnets and stuff you can't really pull it hard, but it can't be that hard up on there, though. You don't want people
so
struggling. I'm like,
apparently they're going to be I don't know. I don't believe these rumors, but like apparently they're saying that they would be secured in place by electromagnets. I guess
oh,
there are like they would be secured in place by other means. Like obviously I think Nintendo will make it work. Maybe they're just trying to think of a way to like modernize the Switch idea even more to where you just literally snap them on. But someone made a good point saying that the whole logo of the Switch and like the start of every single trailer has the snap, like the logo locking into place.
yeah.
The entire Switch branding is revolving around that, and like the Joy-Cons are literally the logo of the Switch. So I feel like I don't know. I don't feel like they're gonna change their entire brand. I don't
Steven,
know. Maybe
I I see
what
it now. I see it now. You know how the
what
snapping location, the left Joy-Con comes down and the right Joy-Con comes up on the Switch 2? It's gonna be instead of that motion, it's just gonna be 2 Joy-Cons from the like, one on the left and one on the right. I don't know what they're really gonna call them, but let's just say controllers, and they're gonna snap onto the thing, just be like, and it's just gonna snap together,
what like
like,
coming from
towards
the
each.
left and right side of the screen,
Yeah, then they
like they
sandwich
just
like
like
that
they
versus coming up and down it's like I'm calling it now. Y'all can come back and look at this episode several years later though, but in terms of the logo, that's what's gonna be there. I'm telling you. It's gonna be like a little magnetic little fuse thing, be like pop, and then they're just
I
gonna
think they'll
stick to each
yeah
other.
I think they'll keep the same sound. We'll see. I just hope that like it's durable because I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I'll be playing my Switch in handheld mode and like they move. You know what I mean? Have you ever put your Switch in
Oh,
handheld mode
oh
and like
my
the Joy
gosh.
Cons
I'm
even when
I'm
they're in the rails like jiggle a bit? It's so fucking annoying.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I felt like when the system first launched and you're holding that switch, right? You didn't really notice those issues. But I think the more and more you play your system in handheld mode, especially if you played it majority in handheld versus primarily in dock, I started noticing that, like, the Joy-Cons will wiggle a little bit. I'm like, "What the heck?" And then even one time, I think I either slightly dropped my Switch or slightly, I think it's the right Joy-Con, like, put a little bit of pressure up on the Joy-Con, and it just popped out the holder, and I was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah, I the Joy Cons are in my opinion some of the worst controllers Nintendo's ever made.
Ooh, that's saying something right there, man. Gosh dang.
It's not really saying something. They usually
No,
come out with pretty good
it's
controllers.
saying something because like, you can go back and look at other controllers, like, the some people, I think before the Joy-Cons were a thing, some people might have said the Wii remotes, or some people might have said the Nintendo 64 controller before they made it better with obviously, the GameCube one, though, and then some people will say the NES just for the form factor and just the non-comfort side of
No,
things,
the
though,
NES
but
is fine.
But if you're saying the Joy-Cons out of all of them, I'm like, God dang, I know they get the
No,
drifts and stuff, so there are some hardware flaws up on that thing, but,
listen, the N64 controller literally bruised people's hands, and I still think the Joy-Con's worse.
nah, those are people with some weak old hands, man. I went to town on that stuff with Mario Party 3, though. They got some weak, soft hands. I'm gonna keep it a buck 50. The 64 controller is not nearly as bad as what some people are making it out to be, though. I'm just saying, I'd rather hold an N64 controller than the Joy-Cons any day of the week. Oof, dang, I thought you were gonna have something to say about that, though, but I guess
Not
that statement was pretty strong right there. I'm just saying.
not really.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah. I was just gonna say, like, if you do you want to talk about some of the other rumors that people have been saying about this console?
If you heard anything, I mean, that was the main one I wanted to report about, unless
Uh,
you heard some
so,
extra stuff.
so here's what I heard. So the current Switch Pro controllers will be compatible, but apparently it's unknown if the Joy-Cons, like the OG ones, will be compatible.
I think it would
I
be
think they I think
I
they will be, but they won't snap onto the console. I feel like the new Joy-Cons will be the only ones that snap on, but they'll probably be slightly bigger.
I feel like they'll treat it just like the Wii U did. Like, you can
Yeah.
use Wii remotes. You could use even, I think, classic Pro controllers if you plug them in the Wii remote and then sync it up to the Wii U. Obviously, the only exclusive thing for the Wii U was the gamepad and the Wii U Pro controller. So I think with the Switch 2, you're going to have obviously whatever Joy-Cons, whatever you want to call them, associated with the Switch 2. And you might have a controller that might be the current, I guess, new Pro controller that might be similar to like a PS5 controller. Like maybe if they want to go crazy on the haptics and like do a one step evolution on HD Rumble though, but it's not necessarily like needed for you to play those games. You can still use a pro controller from the Switch and use it for the
Yeah.
Switch too. I think that's what Nintendo's gonna do. And same thing with the Joy Cons. Like I don't think you can plug them onto your Switch, but like you were playing Super Mario Party that require Joy Cons, yes, you can use your old school Joy Cons on it. So I think it's just
I think
backwards compatible via that stuff.
but I know not hardly anyone does couch co-op anymore, but for couch co-op, it would be nice.
Oh, no, no, that I will be set, Steven, because literally I have all 7 different unique pro controllers that are, the limited edition ones, like your Monster Hunter stuff, your Smash Brothers, the 2 different Splatoon ones and stuff, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Like, I have 7, well, I say 7. Smash Brothers 1 got a or no, it got drift. I need to fix that, man. So 6 really strong usable controllers I got at the moment, though, and if all of the controllers are backwards compatible like that, then I would be perfectly set. I'll probably just get the new form factor of the Pro Controller, and I'll be content. Multiplayer, I'll be set on day 1, and I would really like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to look for other things I've heard. So Switch 1 game cards will be supported on Switch 2, but the new Switch 2 cards won't fit in the Switch 1. So we're gonna have a 3DS a situation where they have a slightly different card.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably it's either they put the notch, like, on the 3DS in comparison to the DS cartridges, they'll do something like that, or what will be the Switch 2 cartridges, they're just slightly a little bit bigger, so you can't stick, like, a Switch 2 cartridge into like, in the original Switch, obviously.
Yeah.
And then maybe there'll be like some kind of groove or something on the actual
Mhm.
system that stops you. Well, no, actually, you had to put the Switch games up in there though. No, yeah, that's how it is. It's a Switch two.
I
Well,
think
no, they had
I
to be
think
the
it's
same thing because the
literally
Switch one. Never mind, take that back.
I think it's literally going to be a 3DS situation. I think literally all they're going to do is add a little nub to the carts and make it a different color. I think that's it.
But what color if it ain't black?
They're just gonna do a 3DS thing. They're gonna make them white. I think that's it. I think that's literally it. I think they're just gonna copy the 3DS. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And
Uh,
Nintendo
yeah.
loves just doing the same thing again. Look at the Wii and Wii U.
I say instead of white, make it blue or red. That's just my personal
I mean,
opinion. Make it
blue. But listen, blue would be a nice color, but like, I don't see it.
dang. Yeah, it probably
Maybe
it'd be
red.
cheaper to do white anyway. I don't know.
Would it? Like, I don't would it be cheaper to do it
I feel
white?
like it would because I feel like those it's like anything like when you mess with color and like printers and stuff, black and white is always cheaper than like when you
I
start doing those other colors.
I guess? I wouldn't
Mm,
know. I don't know if, like, the matte finish they still have to put on it actually matters to that.
okay. Who's to say though? But at least from the rumors and stuff, all of the ones that you mentioned are all the ones I heard about. So I was like, hey, since we already talked about one, we might as well just mention everything, get us all caught up. So then once we get another good chunk of change of rumors and stuff, then we might bring it up again though. But I don't know. I like to talk about it, here and there whenever it seems like something that could be probable, or we can just kind of, just talk about it for a little bit though. So, it's just all some fun little jibber jabber here on the side though. But I think that's about it in terms of a little rumor mill section for the Switch 2 though. So I guess we'll roll it over to the actually no, it's going to be the last gaming news topic of the night though, because apparently Steven I guess we got a Switch game leak though. Now, this is the interesting thing about this one story is the fact that Puro, you know how I feel about Puro, Steve, and I was like, dang, this dude getting too credible to the fact I was like, dang, I can't disregard this dude anymore. I'll
Nintendo
put
will
I'll put
kill
the dude
him.
I will put the dude on silent when I know what like a general direct is coming up because I don't want to get spoiled on any of that. But just for everyday stuff, you never know what the dude might say though. So of course this ran across my Twitter feed and stuff. And he just sent a random old image of a Nintendo World Championships cartridge, the NES one. And I was
Yeah.
looking at that and I was like, wait a minute, this means when I first saw this, before I saw any other comments and stuff, I was thinking, number one, are we having another Nintendo World Championships? Or two, are they trying to bring this game back? That's what my mind was saying. Then you look in the comments and stuff, these little jokers over here, Steven, looking at the SW1 and SW2 and the 3, and some people over here like, dang, they just confirmed the Switch 2, 3, and 4. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah.
Y'all are crazy. Y'all are
People
crazy.
people were saying that, like, the date meant something. Like, maybe, like, the date or, like, the numbers meant, like, the date that the Switch 2 was gonna be revealed. No, then he literally just replied saying, "This is literally a Nintendo World Championships NES edition, lol."
I know because some people were literally looking at the numbers on here, which literally when you're looking at the numbers, you would just think these numbers don't have like too much of an
Yeah.
importance factor. But I'll get to that here in a second, though. No, like for example, the one that was next to the SW2, they're thinking, oh, okay, they saw a three, so they were thinking March. They saw a seven, they were thinking seventh, and then they said the dot five is like 2025.
And
y'all
by
are
the way,
y'all are reaching for straws.
yeah, and just by the way, expect whatever this is to come soon, because the only thing we really know about Puro is that he has back end knowledge on their I think it's their YouTube page. He has back end knowledge on their YouTube videos that get uploaded.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
honestly
think.
thinking of too. Yeah, I feel like that has to be because there's no way you can be this accurate and
Yeah,
not have like a mess up somewhere. Because even when you have sources from actual people, plans change, so some things might get outdated. So he would have messed up
like
on one of his predictions by now.
March 4th, he said that we were gonna get more news about Thousand Year Door and Luigi's Mansion 2 when Mario Day came, which we did.
Yeah,
Uh, said that there was gonna be a demo for Princess Peach Showtime. Next day, the demo came out. Like, he does a lot of shit. And then obviously I don't know if you've seen this. He just randomly will tell people to delete their accounts, and I think it's funny.
no,
Like,
it's funny when he
he'll
says
tell
that.
like leakers that get things wrong. He'll just be like, delete your account, and some of them do.
But yeah, and I guess in terms of this whole news thing, because it was funny because when this first broke out on the scene, people were going crazy, and then it was like was it even a day later, Steven? Then we had an ESRB rating go up for the Nintendo World
The
Championships, the
exact
NES.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the exact
And then we're
title.
like, well, shoot. And it's kind of rare we get the ESRB rating for a game before it actually gets announced. Because usually for like Nintendo's games, like for example, Mario Odyssey or something like that, Nintendo's going to announce that on their own terms before it gets even close to the ESRB putting that out there as public knowledge and stuff. You know, we see this happen sometimes a little bit more so with third party games. I've seen that happen all the time. But for like big first party games from like a Sony, Nintendo, Xbox, that rarely ever happens. So this is like one of the
Yeah.
few cases where this is actually a thing, and surprisingly, it's with a Nintendo game. So I think word on the street is, if this, apparently is going to be a thing, and for some reason, as long as Nintendo shouldn't backpedal on this thing, though, it's going to be equivalent of like an NES remix kind of thing. It might be like a little bit of a slight rebranding or whatever, though, because those switches that you see on that actual original NES cartridge, that changed like how much time was for certain
Yeah.
type of games that were on the cartridge and stuff. And I had no idea. Those cartridges are like the value on those
All
things are stupidly expensive, man. I had no idea
so
because
all
there's
I'm
only
gonna
like so
say,
many of those.
yeah, this game is gonna be interesting, Zard, because apparently it's gonna be $30, Puro says, and it's not. Yeah, it's going to be $30, but then he also says that it's not just a port.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're probably adding extra games up on it. The question is like, what games are they putting up on this thing though? And like, I feel like it has to be like an NES remix kind of feel or vibe to it though, because you want to just be putting out a game that just has some NES games on it, especially when you already have an NSO service up on here that has a lot of those games that are probably being up on there though. So you put two and two together, as long as it's you thinking it's with NES games, and obviously it'll be like a remix style thing though, unless they're doing some like really odd stuff to it or something, or let's
I
say it's
think
not based on any purely on NES games. Which, if you look at some of the details and stuff on the
it's
ESRB
going to
rating, you
be.
can kind of tell that it's not just what was actually originally on that cartridge back in the day. So you could tell they're already adding more to it.
Of course, like they say, like something of arrows, right? Like what was on the original cart? It was Mario 1.
Mario 1, Tetris, and oh shoot, what was the other one? Dog, I have it in my notes here somewhere. Give me a second though, but I can figure that out.
Um, I'm looking. I'm looking. God damn it. Okay.
Rad
Um.
Racer was the other one.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was 4 games. Um. All I'll say is that obviously it's gonna be more games. People said that they're gonna do. Did you ever play the 3D Classics games on 3DS where they took like certain NES games and like made them in widescreen and this
Yes,
and
like, I
that?
think, like, Xevious was, like, one of them I had on my
Yeah, and
3DS and
Kid
something
Icarus
else.
was the best one.
Yeah.
No, but the Kid Icarus version they did was one of the best ones. If they're remaking like some of these NES games or giving them enhanced features and then like doing the championship thing, I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's literally just going to be NES Remix, but they don't call it NES Remix. I think it's just going to be them bringing back NES Remix, but like they're leaving it open enough to where they could do SNES games after this because it's called
Oh,
NES
yeah.
called NES Edition. So the only logical thinking would be, oh, there's going to be an SNES edition after.
Yeah, so I think if they were to go with this new rebranding, then they could basically do this for anything, like, in the future, like, years from now, they could still say, "Hey, we can still do this whole world championships," whatever kinda branding they're using now, but it's
Yeah,
not just
but if
limited to NES, Super Nintendo. At that point, they could put 64 games up on that thing
yeah,
if they
but
wanted to.
if they're calling it Nintendo World Championships, I hope they do some kind of event with this.
Now
Like I hope
that's
like the top scorers get like a reward.
Now
Like if
that's
they're
what I
calling
wanted to that's what I wanted to talk about, because when I saw that cartridge at first, when Puro was first teasing it, I was thinking they were gonna actually bring the world championships back. It would actually be really cool if they say, "Hey, we're releasing this game. It has online features and stuff, right?" And maybe one of the games, like, like how you qualify for the 2017 World Championships, it was like you doing what was it? It was like a time trial for Mario Kart 7, I believe. It wasn't 8, I think it was 7.
that's fucking
Um
stupid.
but yeah, but if they were to do something like that to try to say, "Hey, we're gonna drum up interest and we're gonna try to do another world championships." Hey, if y'all were to go out and buy this game and actually upload your time trials and stuff like that, we'll pull that stuff from the servers, and then we'll actually invite some of the people with some of the best stuff, like as just like an extra. So then, hence the whole naming of it being called the World Championships. This is now everybody has access to buying this game. That would make a ton of sense, to be honest, though. 'Cause, I mean, otherwise, if you're just remixing a whole bunch of other games, I feel like you will call it something else that wouldn't be tied to the World Championship logo, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just kind of where my mind is at the moment. Though, regardless, it's going to be like a budget game or whatever, though, and it shouldn't cost that much. Like what you said, $30 though. So I'm looking forward to seeing whatever this is. I feel like we shouldn't have to wait too much longer. Like it could be shown at the next direct that will happen in the summertime, but I could easily see them just Twitter shadow dropping this mess whenever they feel like it at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's $30, so I don't think it's gonna be like a big release for them. I don't know. Game Builder Garage was like a game where it was $30 and they just released that the next month.
Yeah,
So
you're right about
I
that
could
one.
I don't know. I could see them just dropping a trailer for this soon, releasing it early next month, and then maybe like if it does have some kind of online functionality, like it will maybe I don't know. I was gonna say like maybe affect like whatever showcase they have in June because I think they'll have like a showcase in June, whether it's revealing the next console or just the rest of their 2024 lineup. I think we'll get some kind of Nintendo showcase in June. I think it'd be really cool if like the championships like yeah, it was like whoever does the best gets sent to an actual real championship like match
No,
or
yeah,
something.
that'd be honestly really cool. And that was the other thing I should have thought about though was the fact that we are getting we're getting pretty close to the next fiscal update report from Nintendo. Like I think it's either supposed to happen sometime this week, I believe. We're literally right around the corner from it though. And for these investors and stuff, they got to have something to talk to those investors about. And this could be easily one of those games they announce at their little meeting, and then they just quickly throw up a little statement on Twitter and say, "All right, here we go. Here's the next thing." Just to kind of appease investors because they're going to be hammering them for like that Switch 2 news and stuff like that, though. So I don't know. The fact that the rating kind of went up, kind of close to when we would normally get a little update from Nintendo. I feel like something could be announced. Honestly, it could be this week, to be honest.
I think it will, especially because Puro knows about it. He usually knows like at least a week before.
Yeah. So I think everything's kind of in line at least for this one though. So yeah, I feel pretty good
Yeah.
about this one. I feel pretty
The
good.
fact he knows the name, the price, and like what it is. Yeah, like he definitely already has access to whatever this trailer is.
Yeah. So
But
I
like,
think
it's I don't know. We talked about Puro a lot, but mostly because he literally is like, the ESRB kind of helped, but like he just tweets this shit out and just he's always right. I don't know how he manages it.
Nah, man, he has to be on the back end of YouTube because I mean, even one of my other friends in RL, I was like, yeah, yeah, you know what? He's like, it has to be that. So the fact that you also said it too, I was like, yeah, no, there's no other way. There's no other way to be honest. Oof.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think outside of that, that's basically going to do it in terms of all of our gaming news and stuff. So we'll go ahead and flip it over to the very last segment of the show, that being the spicy debate. All right, Steven. So we reached that point of the show where we usually like to give our hot takes on something and try to duke it out in the courtroom, figure out, who's the last man standing, though. But before we talk about the debate topic we'll be discussing tonight, we have to talk about the results and stuff that have happened within the last part of our show, though. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the voting results because in our last show, we managed to talk about what was the best Sonic game? I came out and gave my pitch for Sonic Adventure 2, and you came out with your pitch with Sonic Generations. Before I read the results, though, my bad on that one because whenever we were debating on that stuff and we were talking about the Emerald locating radar thing, I actually tested it out the second we got done with it. I was standing next to one of the emeralds, though. I don't know how. I found two emeralds real fast without the radar before finding the one that was actually pointing me towards it. I don't know. I guess I was cracked running through the game on that one on the GameCube though. But yeah, no, you're right. It does do it in a certain order. I don't know why, but I guess I just haven't be kind of close to some other ones in
Yeah.
the past though. So that was on me.
That single decision makes those levels infinitely worse in my opinion.
know why they didn't just have 3 different boxes and say I think that's how they did it in Sonic Adventure 1, if I
Yeah,
remember
that
right?
is.
Okay.
It
I
is.
don't know how they
It
went backwards on that. I
like
don't know.
you'd think with smaller levels you'd need it less, but no.
Hmm,
No, with bigger levels they decided no, make it more annoying.
I guess they're trying to milk your time for everything it was worth. But,
Yeah.
yes. So, in terms of the results, ugh, I had to take the L up on that one, though, because, 40% of the vote was for, Sonic Adventure 2. Meanwhile, the other side of the things, 60% of the vote was for Sonic Generations, and to that I must say,
Hell yes. Best game.
oh goodness. All right. Well, I don't know. I feel like we had some pretty good, thoughts on both sides of the coin though. I
Well,
like
for
Sonic Generations. I just couldn't vibe too well with the 2D aspect though. I like the
both
3D
games,
levels, but yeah.
in, in my opinion, both games are peak.
Hmm, I gotcha. Well, yeah. So honestly, really good, solid debate from last week, though. But we're going to go ahead and bring up the topic for this week's debate, which that's gonna be is now y'all see some Switch games up on there, and this is gonna be a little interesting. I'm putting a little spin on it. The last couple of times, or last few times we did it debates, it was like the best of in a series, though. But why don't we take all these game series for the Nintendo Switch, and instead of choosing the best, let's actually choose the worst. So yes, so the debate for this week is what is the worst first party Nintendo Switch game? Now,
And
that's where the
Zard.
challenge start. Oh wait, did I lose you, Steven?
No, no, I'm here. I was just gonna
Oh,
say. Oh, I was just gonna say for this one, I don't think we'll necessarily be able to do like a defense necessarily.
no, no, yeah, the defense might be out. We might just say a couple of things like, you know what? Instead of saying like, like the rebuttal and stuff, we might just say, hey, you know what? Here's some things I noticed about the game that you picked, and then you do the same thing for mine. So
Yeah,
we'll just add to it this time around.
shit on it more. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's a little bit of the reverse though, but we won't have to put the timer on the rebuttals though, so that'll actually help on the time limit of the show though. But yeah, so we're having a little bit of a different twist on there though. So it's gonna be like who can prove it more, and we're still gonna add a little bit of fuel to the fire on the other person's argument though. So that should be pretty good though. So on this one, I decided I'm gonna let Steven roll with his topic first, then I'll add a little bit of stuff to it, and then he might say some closing remarks, and then we'll flip it the other way around, though. So, Steven, are you ready, man?
yeah.
All right, so let the people know what you chose for yours.
All right. So my pick for, my opinion, the worst first party Switch game that we've gotten so far. And this is recorded in May 2024, by the way. Worst fucking first party Switch game, because yeah, we could get a worse one. So I'm saying it now. Mario Golf Super Rush. I fucking hate this game with a burning passion. Quality wise, it's just okay, but like it is so disappointing in so many other ways that it sickens me. Because my first Mario Golf was Toadstool Tour. Fantastic game, by the way. Full of charm, full of life. I played the 3DS one after that as well. Really good. Um, it's also full of charm. It's got amazing stages in it. It's really nice looking for a 3DS game, honestly. Um, Mario Golf Super Rush took all of the bad stuff I hated about Tennis Aces and just did it worse. Where Mario Tennis Aces has some of the best gameplay in the Mario Tennis series, Mario Golf Super Rush has some of the worst gameplay in the Mario Golf series. They literally they added more randomness and more bullshit and removed more skill. And there's also just more tedium in things like this. I don't know if if do you have Mario Golf Super Rush, by the way?
You actually chose one of the Mario sports games I have the least amount of knowledge in. If you had chose
Okay,
Strikers or Tennis, I could have
that's
said
fair.
something about them, but
Well, I haven't played Strikers, but I'm assuming it's just okay as well. No, but there's the speed golf mode where you shoot and then you run to the ball, which the whole point of fucking playing a golf video game is not getting up and walking to the ball. Like it's not even fun. Like you can like use a dash and you could like collect items, I guess, but it's so not fun. It's so stupid. It's like you only do it for like 15, 20 seconds maybe. I guess the whole point is that you gotta like optimize your movement so you could get to the ball faster. I guess, there's like different ways you could play it. You could play it depending on the time you took to get into the goal or like the amount of strokes still. The course it would be a lot better if the courses actually had platforming bits, maybe if you could like run and jump around like a fucking Mario game. That would be one thing. But the courses in this game are so generic, so bland, so lifeless. I hate it. They literally only added two good courses. They added New Donk and they added one like with a bunch of classic artwork. It was like All Star something. It was like a lot of old classic Mario artwork like built into the greens. It looked really nice. But everything else is plain generic sand, plain generic lava, plain generic beach. Well, I don't even know if they have a beach level, but it's just bullshit. The story mode, like Tennis Aces had a campaign. It was short, but at least it was somewhat fun and it taught you the mechanics well. Super Rush's campaign fucking sucks. It's awful. It's boring. You have like a little hub world, I guess, but you don't like do anything. It doesn't feel accomplishing. And then we have Battle Golf, which is the only good thing they added in this game. Battle Golf is definitely interesting in Super Rush, where the whole like you have these like small arenas where you need to get to first of three flags, I think it was, and you're just like bumping into your other teammates and like using items to like stun them so you can get into the place first. It's somewhat interesting, and there's your special shots that you can use to also like Bowser Jr. I remember he had like a smoke effect, and it was really overpowered. It's the only fun mode in the game, but there's only like two arenas. And like I don't know, the character selection is also just okay. Like it's all of your normal stuff that you'd expect. And then like in the DLC, I think they added Pauline, and then they added like a Ninja, like the enemy from Mario, a Ninja. They added some
Time.
really random picks.
Ooh,
Ah,
alright.
fucking
Man,
hate that game.
I
Yeah,
didn't think you were gonna hate that. Of all games you mentioned, I was not expecting
it
that. What
came
the
out on
heck?
my it came out on my fucking birthday. It disappointed me.
So you're a longtime Mario Golf fan, huh?
Well, kinda. Like
Kinda, okay.
I didn't play. I had Toadstool Tour was my childhood one, but I haven't played it in a while.
I got you. Huh,
But
okay.
I just remember it just everything was perfect about that game.
Okay, so there was a little bit of nostalgia for the series, at least a little bit. So I
Yes.
was trying to figure out like where was the beef coming from? Because usually with most sports titles, it's usually hey they did something better in the past that you really like, and then when they bring it up to the modern day, then it's like eh. I was like, okay, they dropped the ball on something. I feel like out of all the Mario sports games we had on the Switch, the best one I think is Tennis Aces. Surprisingly, like I don't really hear anybody talk smack
Yeah,
about it
probably.
and people do some crazy stuff up on that game. Holy shoot. But at least for Mario Golf, didn't they drop the support up on that game kinda early? Like, I felt like they were trying to do support and try to add a couple of
They had
characters,
two
but, like
updates. I swear.
oh, you're right. I think it was like a summer update and, like, was there, like, one in the fall or something?
The new Donk City one and then one final one. They did the Mario Maker 2 thing where they only had two updates and that was fucking it.
Really felt like that game kinda came and went because when you mentioned that game, I was like, "Wait a minute, that was out on the Switch?" I was like, "What the heck? This ain't no Wii U thing, right?" Oh, good night. Ugh. I don't know because at least in general I felt like they probably coulda did the golf game a little bit better. Like, even looking at, like, for example, the tennis game. The tennis game has, like, almost too many characters. Like, they kinda went overboard up on this stuff, though, and, like, yeah, you have characters like Pauline and stuff, that was kinda cool and stuff, though, so I don't know
Yeah.
why they didn't give y'all more characters and stuff, and then it's like, obviously, golf isn't, like, one of the hottest sports ever, and I felt like they probably tried to give it a little bit of pizzazz and stuff when they did, like, what was that Super Rush mode you were talking about? And I was like, I guess typically in a golf game, you ain't trying to run people over and stuff, but I guess we're trying to give a little bit of flair. I don't know. That mode didn't seem like really impressive to me, and I guess you kind of hated it though too.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
just a lot of stupid stuff, man. Like I don't even. I don't even want to talk about the online in that game. I'm done talking about it.
Ugh. Oh, good. Oh, I didn't even know that was online for that stinking. What do you even do for the online?
I don't know. Speed golf is probably only good at online because if you're playing online, you want things to go by faster.
Dang.
So it's a
Okay.
little bit faster with speed golf because you're all like running towards the ball all at the same time. But
Okay.
that's it.
All right. Well, if you would have chosen a game, I would have known. I'll try to add some more fuel on this fire, though. But I think that's all I can do. All right. Well, that was your pick with Mario Golf. And as for my pick, Steven, holy shoot, I still don't have no idea what I want to choose. I gave you the topic. I hadn't told the people yet, though. But I literally have like an old CD-ROM of a game. It's literally like Finding Nemo. I dug this stuff out of like one of my old drawers, like dog, these old PC games. I was trying to get some of them to work at one point though. But on heads, I'm gonna mark it as one game A. And on tails, I'm gonna mark it at the end of the disc. So whatever way this disc flips up on the ground, I'm just gonna roll with it because both these games are equally bad, and I cannot choose between one or the other. Dog it. All right. So the game. So on heads, I had Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. So I got to run with this mess. So oh shoot, I thought it was gonna be the other one was Sword and Shield. I could have said a whole bunch of stuff about that though. All right, Brilliant Diamond and me, we got some beef over here. Let me go ahead and start this timer over here. All right, here we go. So Brilliant Diamond over here. I was so forward looking towards this game. For me, and my brother kind of got me introduced to the Pokemon series with, Fire Red and Emerald. Those were the first two games, and we were just sharing them back and forth with our GBAs and stuff. We'll play one version, I'll play the other. We'll flip them back and forth. The Gen 4 games, particularly with Pokemon Diamond, was the first game I actually owned that was a Pokemon game. I owned it for myself. And then I got Platinum, and the rest was history, though. So I was really looking forward to it. I was like, out of all the remakes that had stakes up in, Gen 4 was going to be the hot mess right there. Obviously, we had wonderful remakes in the game series from Fire Red and Leaf Green, the Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which is arguably as one of the most I guess debated upon topics of, hey, is that one of the best remake games we ever had in a game series, period, though. And Omega Ruby and Alpha wasn't anything crazy, but it was solid enough, though. So I was like, based upon that trend, I was like, we should get a solid game, especially now it's on the Switch. We can take this thing handheld and on the dock on the go. Man, this thing is going to be looking 3D ish, kind of big. I mean, I was thinking maybe we'll get something along the lines of like a sword and shield kind of art style and direction, kind of like moving around the wild area. That was my expectation. And then lo and behold, they said Ilka's making this game, not Game Freak. I was like, what the freak? And then we got these chibi old art styles. And I was like, hold on a gosh dang second. Has Game Freak freaking lost their minds to get the realms over? And granted, Ilka is not a bad company. They made out games such as like One Piece Odyssey and stuff. So we know they have the chops to make a good game though. But it was all about the direction though. So I was like, oh my gosh, I guess I can get this chibi game and kind of make do with it. Just literally, it's just an art style direction. I can look over that as long as the gameplay is still there and as long as I can still have fun with this sucker, right? That's what I was looking forward to. Lo and behold, then they come out with another statement and saying, "Hey, this game is gonna be a 1-to-1 remake." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "Bro, have you looked at the other games, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and even Heart Gold and Soul Silver? Those games weren't 1-to-1 remakes. You managed to bring over some modern thing conveniences like Battle Frontier and stuff like that. Though, like you had some cool elements and stuff like that. Even Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire had a whole entire episode dedicated towards it with a Delta episode like that. But you telling me over here that we ain't gonna get nothing new like that for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Like it's literally just gonna be a copy paste stuff. I was like, wait a minute, gosh dang second. Now hold on here. Yes, you get some nice little cool little visual animation things when you get a certain legendary popping up like Dialga or Palkia or something like that though. I mean, outside of that, it just feels like I'm playing the same game as if like it was like what 2007 all over again. And I was like, what are we doing over here, Game Freak? Like, we're supposed to be going forward, not backwards. And yes, I know some people out there are gonna say, well, this game ain't platinum, so you shouldn't have the platinum content. I mean, they gave us a whole entire freaking underground and stuff for us to kind of go through and do and get other Pokemon that you weren't natively able to find within Pokemon Diamond and stuff back in the day, though. I'll give a little credit where credit is due, though, but that still ain't enough because at the end of the day, it's just a one-to-one remake. Like I felt like I already did that though. When you play games that are remade and usually retold, you're looking for some kind of new experience, some kind of new wow factor and stuff that kind of pull you in and say, "Hey, these were the glory days, but even better than what I even remembered it." And Brilliant Diamond just completely dropped the ball on that one though. I mean, visually, I mean, not visually speaking, in terms of like graphically, the way how the game runs and stuff like that, no flaws whatsoever, though. It's just more so the direction that they actually took with this game, more so than anything, though. And I was like, what the heck, Game Freak? Like, that was literally the first ever Pokemon game in general that I have never finished. Like, I usually will get all the way through the whole entire game and manage to play the whole game from start to finish. That was one of the first games I just stopped cold turkey. I think it was after the sixth gym leader, and I didn't even make my way up to Mount Cornet. If I ever boot up this game again, it'll just be the Shiny Hunt Arceus. That's the end of my 4 minutes. Gosh dang it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like people say, oh, it's not platinum. Better question, why isn't it platinum? Like, if you're, if you're gonna do a faithful remake of Gen 4, why not just pick the better Gen 4 game, you know?
Yeah, man. I don't know where their decision making was on with this sucker. I was like, man.
I I don't know. I was, yeah, like Orez had a chibi art style, but like it was
It
better.
was chibi, but it wasn't like chibi. Like if you look at the models for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire characters, they were still bigger than the models we got within Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl,
Yeah. But
surprisingly.
like, yeah, the fact of the matter is that like Pokemon's on consoles now. You expect better, higher standards. Yeah, I completely get it.
Yeah, and I was like, luckily, alongside this game that came out a couple of months later was Legends Arceus, and for all sakes and purposes, that's my Gen 4 remake. I really don't consider Brilliant Diamond as my Gen 4 remake. Legends Arceus is literally my Gen 4 remake
Mhm.
for all sakes and purposes. While yes, the region has been rebranded as Hisui and stuff, that's just the way I think about it in the back of my mind. Because man, that's a game right there. Now that's a game. Yes, there's a little bit of graphical issues and stuff like that, but oh shoot, that's a game right there. Oh, man. You got any extra fuel to dump up on this fire? I think I about exhausted the gas can. I have to run back to the gas station and get some more. But was there any other fuel you can add up on this thing? Got some twigs or stuff or
I don't
oil or
think I don't think this game deserves to be fueled. I think this game deserves to be forgotten more than anything. I
dang.
don't think it I don't think it's crazy bad. Like, Super Rush I think is insulting as a fan of Mario Golf. While this game I think is just empty. It's just play platinum. Like, yeah, I guess this is more a more accessible way to play it nowadays. Like, if you want to play Gen 4 on Switch, there you go. You got Gen 4 on Switch. But like, I don't know. It feels sterilized. It feels like you took platinum and you just threw all the life out of it. The only difference really is fairy type. You have fairy type now. Good
No, that
luck.
made the game objectively worse, man. Because back in my day, we didn't have those stupid fairy
It's
types, man. If you
easier,
want to slay a
right?
dragon, you slayed it with a dragon yourself. If you brought yourself a good
Yeah.
ice type, like come on now, all these
I
weak
and
chumps.
Gen 4 did have some pretty good ice types in there.
Yeah, man, had a freaking
Yeah.
Obama Snow, Glaceon.
You,
Glaceon's a
yeah.
pretty good one right
I
there.
I for, I forgot for the longest time Glaceon only came in Gen 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think we're kind of long overdue for another evolution. I was like, gosh
Uh,
dang, it's been a while.
Probably. We'll get there eventually.
Mhm.
No, but yeah, I have nothing else to say about that game. It's just disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. I'm almost done with the little poll thing because I got to create this thing and then drop it over here in the chat. But yeah, so honestly, I think we managed to have some pretty good talking points, at least for what could be arguably considered as the worst first party Nintendo Switch game. Now, obviously, there's some other ones that I mean, obviously, there are some other ones that you can put up in the list, like, for example, everybody's 1-2 Switch. But the rules for this is it has to be games that we played. I hadn't played everybody's 1-2 Switch, so I couldn't put that one up in there because of that aspect alone, though. But I think there's like, if I were to look at my whole entire collection, there's only three first party games well, I say that were kind of bad-ish. Not necessarily that I would regret. Well, one I regretted, but the other two were kind of bad-ish.
Which ones?
Brilliant Diamond was one. The other one was Sword and Shield, and then the third one was
This is Scarlet
Detective
Violet.
Pikachu. Detective Pikachu, man. and all of them were
Damn,
Pokemon games.
Pokemon's fucking burned
God,
you, huh?
it really has. Legends Arceus, thank goodness for that one. That was a really great, solid one. The Scarlet and Violet, yes, there are some technical issues with that game, though, but overall, I like more stuff that you're able to do because it took me a while to actually go through that whole entire story mode and beat all the gym leaders and do the whatever you were fighting, like those colossal Pokemon, and doing those raids against the quote unquote evil team, even though they're not really evil though. But by the time I did all that and all the DLC for the two different areas and stuff, I got my hours worth out of that though. Versus like Scarlet and or not Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield, where I was like, ugh. Like, do you remember
Sword
those
and
two people with the sword and shield hair? Like, what the frick? I can't even remember that plot line.
yeah, Penis Head and Lion Mane. Yeah, they were
Oh,
stupid.
yeah.
Um, no, but like my problem is I didn't even buy the DLC for Sword and Shield. It was just did not look interesting.
Yeah. So I was like, dog, man. I just couldn't with it though. All right, so now I finally got the thing made. So I'm gonna copy that link over here and drop it over here. All right, so for y'all watching here live in the chat though, I just dropped the link to the voting poll right there. So if you haven't been watching this live or be watching it after the fact, you can also check the comment section down below though. But yeah, that'll take you to the link to the shared post I managed to do from my community page where you're actually able to vote for what is the worst Nintendo Switch first party games. There's a good handful of them out there. And if we were to open up the floodgates for any Switch game, oh shoot, we'll be here all night though. But yeah, so you can go
Yeah,
ahead and give a vote on this one. I won't necessarily feel bad or offended if I don't actually win this one though. I hope I do. But I mean, if y'all happen to choose Mario Golf, I mean, that's just the way how the cookie crumbles, I guess. But I'm interested to see what people are going to say up on this one, though. But also, if you have a bad Nintendo Switch game that you got to give your own little spill about it though, drop it somewhere down in the comment section down below, or show notes, or add me on Twitter if you're watching this via like the audio only version or something like that though. Just let me know, what was your worst ever first party game that you ever gotten and have you regretting it? Because there's not a lot of bad Nintendo games out there, but there are a few, and there's some, passionate few that will actually make that well known though. But I think that's basically it in terms of that segment right there, Steven. And that's basically gonna do it in terms of the show right there. So pretty good. I think we managed to end this show at least almost about like 15 minutes early than what we've been doing in terms of like the past couple, man, because you've been pushing this show, Steven. I'm saying, man.
yeah.
All righty. Well, I think that's basically gonna do it. So Steven, let the fine people know where they can find you at, man.
You can find me uh on Twitter at Steven Jr. 1231, or you can find me on a collab channel I do with some friends on YouTube called Spaghetti Disco.
All righty, man. So make sure y'all stopping by, y'all check him out on his very different socials and other different projects and endeavors and stuff. But that's basically gonna do it in terms of my ZardCast episode 78. So if y'all happen to be watching this live here on the YouTube channel side of things, or be watching it, sometime after the fact though, make sure you're gonna hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell. That way you stay up to date on all things video game related. I feel like talking about and discussing. If you happen to be one of my audio only listeners that happen to be watching this off of like YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, yes, you can even listen to me in the car via iHeartRadio. Make sure to hit the like button on those respective channels. Make sure to go ahead and give a review, just letting people know where there's a couple of dudes that's happen to be talking about some pop culture stuff and gaming news, what we've been playing, all that kind of good jazz and stuff. Unfortunately, didn't have enough time to talk about the well, we did kind of do a mini version of what we've been playing, but that's so about that show. But managed to squeeze out a couple of shows like the Fallout show and the Knuckles show. So you got a little bit of representation within those normal segments I have towards the end of the show, but we kind of crammed it all together at the very beginning though. But yeah, that's basically gonna do it in terms of this podcast though. Um I hope y'all really do like the new little layout though. 78 episodes later, and I finally decided to do something a little bit different. I feel like it's been long overdue. And for those that are watching this on the audio only versions, take a peek at least for a brief moment and see what kind of layout I have on the YouTube version where I usually go live off of this platform though. But that's basically gonna do it, y'all. So until next time, until my next episode, that'd be my ZardCast episode 79. I'll see y'all later.